snap, I leave your backs in the backfield. Your quarterback scared, I see it in his eyes. Set the receiver in motion, that's just a disguise. My linebackers, they stepping up. Clog the hole, no letting up. Taking on no big blocks. On fourth down, we get big stops. My secondary is balling out. Your offense keeps stalling out. How many yards? Like none at all. I'm special teams, don't punt the ball and it's gone. And you never see me fair catch. I get a block and then I'm gone like a Lear jet. My helmet on, pass strap tight. My jersey shining in them Friday night lights. Win, win, we just came to win. Win, win, we just came to win. Friday night lights. All in Friday night lights. All in win, win, we just came to win. All in win, we must protect this house. I'm in a huddle talking to the Hawks. We gonna run it down their throat soon as we get the ball. I'll come out and fire off the ball, we going on one. My skill position so proficient, break for long runs. Come out running that option, that mean I got the option to keep that or pitch that. Defense, they gotta fix that. Four receivers, we spread them out in the shotgun. Hot reads, I got some. My tight end so awesome. Touchdowns, I toss some. We score six scoreboard, that score six. Respect the ball, we protect the ball. We don't fumble, no throw picks. I feed my linemen pancakes. For all they blocks, I'm pancakes. Push you around like all night. End of the game, get your handshakes, huh? My helmet on, pass strap tight. My jersey shining in them Friday night lights. Win, win, we just came to win. Win, win, we just came to win. Friday night lights. All in Friday night lights. All in win, win, we just came to win. All in win, win, we must protect this house.
Yeah, you hear them cheering as we end that song by Love. We can go ahead and listen there. Friday Night Lights. So that's something that you can listen to. We got a lot to talk about today. Coaching changes have happened since we last spoke on Monday. We've got coaching changes in the Big Apple in New York and also down here in the QC, the Queen City. Tonight, I will be there. I'll be there for that game, covering that game.
Hornets and who?
Do I?
Hornets and who?
Hornets, they're playing the Raptors tonight.
Okay.
Playing the Raptors tonight. Also, today, we'll talk about we'll get more into the NBA. We'll talk about the NFL matchups when we go live Friday. So again, Hunter Yancey here, Juwan Wilson, and Kevin Hastings. Again, thank you for tuning in to the next and latest episode of Shock Jocks. Gonna go ahead and get started with this, with the coaching carousel. Kevin, how are you doing today?
I'm working on lunch
You're working on lunch.
We usually don't do this. Well, we do it when we have a sponsor, but we kind of had lunch and this podcast coincide. We had to get it started. Juwan hadn't showed up yet, or food hadn't showed up yet, and Hunter and I are like, well, we don't know when either's coming. So let's go ahead and get and the guy all got here at the same time. So we're going to, I'm going to eat a little bit while Hunter and Juwan discuss some of the topics. We've got NFL coaching carousels to talk about today, like Hunter said. We've also got, we really got to get into how this affects the Panthers with Cam Newton.
Right.
We touched on the playoffs yesterday, but our big thing today was we were going to feature on basketball and talk a lot about that today. So NBA action, North Carolina, NCAA, and more. Was kind of leaning towards more basketball today on our subject. So just give you guys a heads up of what we're looking into and what we're looking at. Hunter, let's start with you.
Yes.
And we'll let you and Juwan, I'll do some sound checks and eat a little bite. Talk about your new coach in the NFC East. Cowboys with a new coach. Mike McCarthy. Eagles. Most recent won the Super Bowl. Giants with a new coach. So everyone in the division but the Eagles is going to have a new coach. Juwan, you're an Eagles fan. Let's talk a little bit about how that affects you guys, and then also where Hunter sees his Redskins sitting now in the NFC East.
Go ahead, Juwan.
Well, I think it affects us, a pretty good bit. Excuse me. I think the Redskins, y'all, did a great hire.
Right.
Good defensive-minded coach, which only, could slow us down some, especially with the fact, with Ron Rivera there. I'm pretty sure if Chase Young is there, number 2 in the draft, in this upcoming draft, pretty sure y'all going to take him. I don't need any more big fast dudes chasing Carson Wentz down. I don't need to happen what happened the other night in Philly against Seattle. The Cowboys one, I don't know about that one. I think the Cowboys really come down to, are they going to make plays? Can they just get over the hump? The Giants, not concerned about that one whatsoever.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to, bash a guy that, we don't know nothing about, but we don't know anything about him.
Right.
He's never coached before. He's never been a coordinator before.
Well,
special teams coordinator.
I was going to say special teams.
Yeah.
Special teams. We got to remember that. I agree with you. I don't want to poo-poo him too much.
I don't want to poo-poo him.
We really don't know much about him. He's one of those hires where it's like, and for those that don't know, Joe Judge. That's who we're talking about for the New York Giants. He just got the head coaching position. We just don't know much about him.
Have a clue.
I did a little bit of research on him before we went live, and the one thing that I can say is, yes, he was a special teams coach. A lot of people are pointing out, they're like, oh, well, he was the wide receivers coach too, and the wide receivers were garbage this year for the Patriots. Well, this was the first year he was the wide receivers coach, so I'm not going to sit here and say, or throw shade at him because it was the first year he did it. But he knows special teams.
Yeah,
he knows special teams. Other than that, we do know he's a Belichick man.
Yeah,
he's been underneath Belichick for years. Also, fun fact for people that maybe haven't looked deep enough into Joe Judge, he is also from Nick Saban's coaching tree. Also was mentored by Nick Saban.
I will say this. I heard someone saying that one good thing about being a special teams coach is that, he interacts with offensive and defensive players to get everybody to come together to do one thing that nobody really wants to do, which is play special teams.
Yeah.
So, I heard he's got some people skills, and I heard he's a, gatherer of men, but I guess that's left to see.
That's one of the things, too, that I think people need to take into consideration, as well as him taking over the head coaching position. That doesn't mean he's taking over play calling.
Right.
He's going to obviously be able to delegate to his offensive coordinator, his defensive coordinator. So he doesn't necessarily have to be the guy that's all over the X's and O's on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. Now, he probably will keep ties with special teams. Hey, if you're a special team specialist, that's great.
Go ahead. You specialize in one skill, that's always good to have.
People forget special teams, it's a third of the game.
It is.
It's a third of the game, so if he can come in there and have great special teams work, whether it's blocking punts, getting those field goals, having successful punts, pinning teams deep, then that's great for him.
That stuff matters.
The only problem, and I'm glad that you said that because I didn't know that, if there's something going around saying he's got good people skills, that was one of the knocks on Jason Garrett was, he was just Coach Clapp. He couldn't really light a fire under his players. That's yet to be seen.
Yeah.
That's yet to be seen with Coach Judge, if he can light a fire underneath his players. But if he can, then it's going to be a good hire. The only problem is he doesn't have that head coaching experience. And here's the thing too. There was rumors that Matt Rule was the one that really was on the top board for the Giants as who they really wanted as their head coach. Obviously, he's in Carolina. Carolina locked him up as quick as they could.
Yeah.
But the Judge thing, as many to me, better prospects there were at the head coaching position, I'm surprised that they really went with Judge because McDaniels is out there. Bieniemy is out there, offensive coordinator for the Chiefs. You know, Greg Roman is expected to be interviewed for some head coaching positions. So for them to go this route with a name that's not really been talked about, I don't know if a lot of analysts that I've heard say they think it was rushed in a panic mode.
Yeah.
And I can agree with that to an extent. I didn't really see them doing this. Apparently, Judge was interviewing for the Mississippi State head coaching position.
Okay.
That's his alma mater. He played at Mississippi State.
Okay.
And that's not even a top-tier SEC school right now.
Not right now.
Not right now. They were when Dak Prescott was there. People forget at one time they were number one in the nation.
Yeah.
But as of right now, that's not really a premier school to go coach at. Now it is the SEC.
Yeah.
So for this, the Judge hiring, to me, there's just a huge question mark. And I don't think we're in the right to be questioning it right now until he actually gets into the season.
Yeah.
But we can sit here and say, I don't know about it. I don't know about it. But I do feel like I think this was kind of a reach.
I think it was a reach, and I also want to throw this out there, too. I think it also went along with the trend of the young coach.
Yes.
Because I think he's, 38?
He's only 39.
38, 39, yeah. And that's a trend, and, you know, after, what's his name, McVay in L.A.
McVay in L.A.,
yeah. And then you got the young guy in Green Bay.
LaFleur.
Yeah.
You got LaFleur and Kyle Shanahan.
Is
having some success.
Yeah.
And people don't forget now who Kyle's father is.
Right.
I mean, he's Super Bowl champion and Mike, so he's been basically groomed for this position in San Francisco. The only problem that I have with this hiring would be the fact that it is, you know, a Belichick guy and a guy underneath Nick Saban, and they don't always have success underneath that coaching tree, whereas a lot of people were saying, you know, people that have come underneath, and we can see it, you know, Doug Peterson's one of them, underneath the Andy Reid tree. Yeah. They go out there and they have some great success. Ron Rivera's underneath the Andy Reid tree. Okay. You know, so I don't know. Is it the Giants, you filled it? Yeah. But to me, you're looking like where you've been the past 3 or 4 years, where you just bring in the guy and he's only going to last for 2 years. And I hope he doesn't. You know, I never want to call for a man's job unless it's just blatant that he needs to go. But I feel like it's kind of a dead man walking already, and his season hasn't even begun. He's got some off-season work to do. Yeah. He has to hire coordinators if he wants them. Another note. I know Cowboys fans out there, your eyebrows are raised up too because Garrett was asked by the Giants. The Giants approached Jerry Jones and said, "Can we interview Jason Garrett for our offensive coordinator position?" So I know now Dallas fans are like, "What? Wait a minute, Coach Clapp getting ready to stay in the NFC East as a coordinator." I don't know. I don't know what the Giants are doing. And I'm going to be honest with you, I kind of like that they don't know what they're doing. Me and you. We're both NFC East guys. I know Kevin has had some ties throughout the years as a Cowboys fan with the NFC East. A lot of people, NFC East fans, you're just looking at what the Giants are doing right now, and you're just...
Yeah. Just like Coach Clapp.
Yeah, they're pulling a Coach Clapp right now. They're like, thank you, Dave Gettleman and the Giants, for not knowing what you're doing.
But let me touch on Coach Clapp for a second, too. Which is something I like to point out to Cowboy fans. Right. You know the reason he gets to clap so much? He doesn't have a play sheet.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't have a play sheet. So why are the Giants coming to you about being an offensive coordinator? Like, you don't even have a play sheet on the sideline. How much input was you really even given on the plays in Dallas?
Well, early in this season for Dallas, they let Kellen Moore kind of call some plays. And then the rumor or the speculation was that Coach Clapp, a.k.a. Jason Garrett, took back over the play calling. A lot of people were upset about that, which I understand. Here's the problem, though. his play calling really wasn't that great.
No.
He never established what a lot of people were talking about, an identity for the offense for Dallas. We know how great Ezekiel Elliott is, but he might get hot. They'll take the ball out of his hands and let Dak Prescott throw it.
Yeah,
and he's essentially going, if Jason Garrett takes the offensive coordinator position with the Giants, to a similar offense
with Saquon
in Dallas or in New York, with a stud running back in Saquon and a question mark around the quarterback in Daniel Jones. Dak Prescott obviously is more proven than Daniel Jones, but even Daniel Jones, you're going to have, or even Dak Prescott has question marks about him and limitations, and Daniel Jones is going to have that. So if they can't establish who they really want to be on the offensive side of the ball, it's like he's basically going to have, if not the same success or less, because of the talent in New York than he had in Dallas.
Yeah, me personally, I think the Giants' issues more defensively anyway.
Yes.
They've got solid receivers. I like Sterling Sharp. I've had him on my fantasy several years.
Shepard.
Yes, Sterling Shepard. Yes, excuse me. He's solid at times as long as he's not getting concussions.
Right.
So I think I think their problems on the defensive side of the ball. So I don't know how much Garrett would help with that anyway.
So we're going to continue to stick with the NFC East because that's been the conference so far in the NFL that's had the most openings, the most movement in coaching staff.
Because we've been a bad conference too.
It's been bad. As you can tell, getting in at 9-7 and 8-8 some years, that just doesn't cut it. The thing that I want to move to now is, we'll just move from New York to Washington.
Yeah.
We'll move to my team. I'm representing Washington today. For those of you that can't see, no, this is not a Clinton Portis jersey. This is an Adrian Peterson jersey. I didn't know how rare this would become. I thought he would be gone after a year, but hey, we'll keep the Hall of Famer around for a little bit longer.
Absolutely.
That's perfectly fine with me. So Washington went out and they hired Ron Rivera, which, as a Redskins fan, I'll speak on it. I'm very happy about the hire.
I think it's a good pick.
I thought he was unjustly fired in Carolina. I feel like Carolina has a lot more problems lying underneath Coach Rivera.
Absolutely.
I think that their defense was really subpar to what they have been in past few years. Offensively, they had no idea what they want to do at the quarterback position, so I can't lay all of that on Ron Rivera. I know he has a lot to do with it, but he's coming to a team now where he doesn't have to necessarily be the head honcho in charge on the defensive side of the ball, because where they had a lot of success in Carolina was when they had Jack Del Rio one year. They had Sean McDermott as the defensive coordinator, so it doesn't have to fall completely on Ron Rivera's lap to focus on the defense, which I'm fine with. Most head coaches, they're there to build morale, keep the guys focused, and deal with everything else and delegate. That's usually how head coaches win, is they delegate. And I really liked the defensive coordinator hire of Del Rio to Washington, changing us from a 3-4 to a 4-3, which to me screams if Chase Young is not taking it 1, which it looks like he won't be, that he's right there for the picking for Washington to take it at 2. And I know you're upset about it because you saw what Clowney and them boys did to you with Seattle. To me, I think he's got a better motor than Jadeveon Clowney does. Washington right now, we still need a general manager. We're not doing anything with that until after the draft.
Okay.
So after the draft, we'll have a general manager in place. So it looks like the draft is really going to be Rivera's, Rivera's going to go in there and pull in the guys that he really wants.
That's the best case scenario for a new coach.
I agree.
Yeah.
If we don't go Chase Young, which is crazy to me, as talented as he is on the defensive side of the ball, but we still want to go defensive, we are trying so hard to move off of Josh Norman. We'll do anything.
Yeah,
he's a liability on the corner. If we don't go defensive end and Chase Young, I would like for us to go the cornerback from Ohio State as well, Okudah.
Yeah.
I think Okudah right now is the highest graded cornerback since Jalen Ramsey came out.
Oh, wow.
And Jalen Ramsey, we know he can be a real stud.
Yes.
He's physical. Denzel Ward had a lot of success coming out of Ohio State for Cleveland. They say he's a lot more physical than Denzel Ward.
Okay.
So
true or false?
True. I don't know. Okay.
The Panthers have not won a playoff game since getting rid of Josh Norman.
I think that is true.
Yes.
I think it is true.
Panthers,
Interesting.
They haven't won a playoff game since they won the NFC Championship 4 years ago.
Right.
The Super Bowl.
They
Well, that's
win
when
the
they-
Super
that's when
Bowl.
they
No,
made
I
the
mean
Super
when they
Bowl.
I said they hadn't
Yeah.
won
Yeah.
a game
Yeah, since the
since
NFC.
the NFC
Championship.
Championship game.
Right.
It's been 4 years.
But I'm okay with moving off of Norman.
I like Norm.
I liked Josh Norman when we picked him up. He had a few good years where
Yeah.
he was trying to prove himself that he deserved the money that he's gotten. But as
Yeah.
of right now, everywhere he goes, he just gets burnt. He just
Right.
gets burnt. He doesn't have the speed
Yeah.
that it looks like,
Maybe the D-line needs to put more pressure.
which is what would happen with Chase Young.
Well, yeah,
That's
yeah,
exactly
yeah.
what would him on one side, Montez Sweat on the other.
Listen, Ron Rivera, no matter what he did, it seems like stay home or go.
Yeah.
He's got quarterback decisions to make.
He does have a quarterback decision to make as well. To me, Haskins truly didn't get enough reps last year for me to throw
To make an opinion.
to make an opinion
Yeah.
on me. I saw he had flashes as he got later into the season and he got more reps under him,
Yeah.
and the offensive playbook started to open up for him, because when he first started to play, Bill Callahan was like, "Man, I'm gonna hand the ball off 40
Yeah.
times a game. I don't need you throwing the ball. I got Adrian Peterson,
Yeah.
Darius Geis back, and Chris Thompson. Like, I don't need you to throw the ball.
Yeah.
I'm going to baby you to the extent to where all you're going to do is hand off the ball." Then play calling started to go to Kevin O'Connell, who we've moved off of right now. And the plays started to come out. We got Terry McLaurin and Dwayne Haskins linking up a little bit more, led to some touchdowns. And now we're bringing in Scott Turner. He has connections to North Turner. To me, I'm like, is it his son?
Yeah.
I haven't done enough. He got the last
Yeah.
name Turner. I
He's
know that's crazy for
close
me.
to somewhere.
He's
Yeah.
but I know they're connected him. He was at Carolina
Yeah.
and connected him to North Turner. So I'm like, well, it's got to be
Yeah.
related to him. I just haven't read enough into it because it happened literally yesterday. So I just
Yep,
like,
that's his
okay,
dad.
that's his. Okay, so North Turner is his father. If he can believe in Haskins and give him give him a chance to succeed.
North coming with you?
No, North's
Okay.
not coming. It's
Okay.
just Scott. But if he gives him a chance and is like, okay, we're gonna actually let you go out there, have a full off season's work with first team reps. We're gonna let you actually be the starting quarterback, and not be like, all right, scout team for the first 9
Yeah.
games. You know,
Yeah.
because that doesn't improve upon him.
No.
That really hinders his growth. So if we can do that, then this next season we'll be able to see if he's the guy. Because
Yeah.
if not, there's Justin Fields coming out the next year. There's Trevor Lawrence coming
Yeah.
out the next year. There'll be quarterbacks coming out the next year. And if not, we can go out and sign like we did with Alex Smith. We can sign a veteran that's going to be let go somewhere.
Yeah.
All I know is they got to give Dwayne Haskins a shot more than what they did this year. I know people will look at him and say, oh, well, he's not a franchise quarterback. I'm like, well, how do you know?
We don't know yet.
We don't
Yeah.
know. You're seeing a guy that really only played one year.
I would say, because he's the Ohio State quarterback.
No.
That he's not a good quarterback. But, I'll save that for my Tom Sinafani Saturday.
Yeah,
hot take on that one.
I don't fall into that category because of where they played at college ball. Anybody can really be a quarterback if you understand and are taught and actually groomed to play the quarterback position at the next level. If you can understand coverages, then it's a great.
That's the main thing. honestly,
You
yeah.
get ready to see how these quarterbacks or these defensive coordinators are going to be disguising things. So if that's great, then you can really succeed. That's the thing. You just got to have a guy that believes in it.
Yeah.
Not like how Arizona did Josh Rosen. They played him for one season and they saw what they had and they saw Kyler Murray was coming out and they're like, eh.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're done
we
here.
were never fully committed to you for even another year because he never even had a full season to start the year before. So I don't know. It's one of those things where quarterback can be so picky, but you have to at least give him a year to see what he's got. So that's my thought on how Washington is. I know Jeff Schwartz, defensive coordinator for the Eagles right now, is scheduled to interview with the Cleveland Browns coming up this week.
I seen that.
And this is where I want to say this. And Mike McCarthy right now is the head coach. He's been fully, he's guaranteed now, signed to paper, head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. The question I want to ask you, Jawan, if Jeff Schwartz leaves as a defensive coordinator for the Eagles, who right now has got the best coaching staff, the whole staff in the NFC East? I'm not talking about the talent on the team, because as people want to say right now, last year's Cowboys, even though I don't buy into it, they were too talented. It was the coaching. So let's not talk about the talent on the roster. If it's completely on coaching, who's got the best coaching right now?
Well,
and I'll be fine if you lean Doug Peterson. I will be fine with it.
Well, the coordinators matter, man. Excuse me. A couple years ago, we had what's the Colts' coach name?
Frank Wright.
Frank Wright.
Yes.
He was our offensive coordinator coach 2 years ago.
He was the one that helped you win the Super Bowl.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And when we lost him and Doug Peterson went back to calling plays, there was a difference.
Yes.
So, coaching staff is very important.
Right.
If we lose Schwartz, I like Schwartz. I think he dials up good blitzes when we need them, good coverages when we need them. I just don't think we got the right cornerbacks in play. Our secondary is horrible.
Right.
So if we lose Schwartz, I probably have to lean on your side. I got two former head coaches as on the coaching staff right now.
Yeah.
We don't know who else McCarthy's bringing in yet.
Have y'all two been able to hear each other?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't been able to hear you.
Okay.
Because this button right here, talk, say,
Hey.
Yeah. When you talk,
Yeah.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me now?
No. I've been trying to figure. That's why I switched headphones 3 times. Thinking my headphones. Like, why would my headphones hear Hunter but not Jewel? Well, no, I mean I was hearing Juwan perfect, like just beautiful audio, and then I couldn't hear you at all. It was because this little bitty light button wasn't on. Just like last night.
Everybody else has been able to hear us though. Right?
Yeah, they've been. Yeah,
I had to say
everyone else can hear us fine. It's just me sitting here with my headphones plugged in this hole. Like I'd plug it in and not hear nothing. I'm like, this don't make no sense.
Everybody wants to hear my Barry White voice anyway.
Okay.
Is that what that is?
Absolutely.
Thought you were just constipated.
No.
So as of right now, Juwan, I mean, and I'm not trying to sit here and toot my own horn, but does Washington have the best coaching staff right now?
I guess I would have to say that right now.
Because like I'm saying, I'm not talking roster
now.
talent.
If we keep Schwartz, I think we still got it.
Okay, that's fine.
But we can't handcuff him and tell him, hey man, we don't want you to go to
better than
Cleveland.
Rivera, don't he? He's got the ring.
That
he's
doesn't
got
mean
he's got the ring.
anything.
He's got one ring, but I can say Doug Peterson's got one ring.
I know. Y'all had him ranked first.
Yeah, I mean, I like Peterson a lot though. I think he's still the best coach in the NFC.
Just him.
We're going on head coaches.
Him alone.
Doug Peterson.
You saw what the Cowboys got for special teams, didn't you?
I did not.
John Fossil.
From Los Angeles, the Rams.
So here's all right. So rumors about Cleveland.
I guess we can go ahead and say that the Giants are last though in the NFC.
Absolutely.
As of right now, the Giants are last.
We've got one fan, Paul Nasanov, said Giants baby. So Paul.
I know Paul. I used to work with Paul. I know. Hey Paul, how you doing? I'll give you a shout out. Hey Paul.
He's saying go Giants. He doesn't.
He is from New York.
He doesn't like your Clinton Portis jersey.
I know he doesn't. This is not a Clinton Portis jersey anyway. It is all day, baby. It's AP.
Listen, when you're over 30 years old, that's a Clinton Portis jersey.
Well, I'm not over 30, am I?
I know. That's what I said. See, Sheriff gonna get you.
Oh, the Sheriff.
You remember any other?
Now listen, I liked Clinton Portis.
Wasn't there the ref Hanky Panky or something like that? Like that threw the flags. You don't remember all the names from Clinton Portis? Do you remember any of that?
Yeah.
He dressed up like
costumes he used to wear. Yeah.
There was a sheriff, and that was one of them was the referee, and then he dressed up as all kinds of things, man. I was just wondering if you remembered.
He's a funny guy.
Yeah, C-Pro. That's what I think. But anyway, over to Cleveland. Rumor.
Yeah.
We named all these people. We was talking about all the people that they did.
Yeah.
Or are going to interview.
Well, I can tell you who they already have talked to. As of right now, the ones that they have already talked to: Greg Roman, offensive coordinator for Baltimore; Robert Saleh, however you say, defensive coordinator for the 49ers. And they have already talked to offensive coordinator Bieniemy for the Kansas City Chiefs. So that's everybody Cleveland has talked to so far, and it said that they were in the midst of talking to Stefanski, offensive coordinator for Minnesota. So that's who they've talked to so far, because I saw the list and it was like 10 names that they were going to talk to.
You know what I did for you? Well, we'll get that in a little bit. I forgot to cut the Kimba. I've got it down there sitting on my desk. The Kimba interview from when we returned the other day. So let's say, well, what I would like, the best case scenario for all these people is to get Josh McDaniels and then Wade Phillips as defensive coordinator.
He was let go from the Rams as defensive coordinator.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having Wade Phillips. I thought about that the other day. I wouldn't mind having Wade Phillips for the Eagles if we lose Schwartz.
Anytime he's the D coordinator, the team is good. Like almost every time.
Yeah,
so,
I like Wade Phillips.
I would be very happy pulling for Cleveland as far as fixing the defense is that you would know that they're not going to do anything stupid out there. You know, you can beat any defense. Every defense gives up points.
I think Cleveland's problem is the coach.
Well, they named you got to think they named the quarterback's coach who's never coached before. So if you're on defense, you know that's just Baker's buddy. Really. Yeah. So like if you're on defense, what / respect or are you given to his creed or what he's saying and everything? You know, these are grown men. You're supposed to do your job no matter what. But at the end of the day, you know, like the guys in Carolina. So well, let's talk about the Panthers and what's happening here. So, Hunter, they give him a 7-year deal.
Matt Rule
never coached an NFL game in his life.
Nope.
7 years, $60-some million. Even the NFL coaches that have what did McCarthy get?
McCarthy, I don't know. I
didn't even see his contract. They said how much.
I don't see how many. I don't see how
he's
long
won a Super Bowl.
He has won a Super Bowl.
He didn't get 7 years, 60-something million.
If I'm not mistaken, Rivera might have only gotten a 5-year deal.
Rule hadn't won a Big 12 championship.
This is what Matt Rule.
Hard to win a Big 12 championship.
So there's two ways to look at this with the 7-year deal, because you have to look at it as far as Cam. Does that mean? And the words I keep looking at, Hunter, is Tepper keeps saying the word program building.
Yes.
Program building. Says it over and over and over. Just listen to it. Does that not mean no more Cam because you got 7 years and he's a program builder? Is this guy willing to risk his NFL career as a coach on Cam's health? Now, the point where we didn't, when they cut Cam for the season, or not cut him off for the season, but just put him on IR, I thought that gave them a chance to let them say, hey, Cam, time's over. You've been great. Because if you bring him back out there and he plays bad, that loses all trade value. That looks bad for Cam.
Right.
Looks bad for a lot of people. So I thought at that point that, hey, this is a good chance for Cam to look the best he can, because he can come up to other teams and be like, hey, I'm healthy, I'm ready to play. But I just, when these GMs and coaches and owners, these new guys make the decisions, this new owner didn't draft Cam. Marty Herney didn't draft Cam. He wasn't a Gettleman. And then so the new coach, none of them are actually connected to Cam, or any or all of them were willing to put their jobs on the line to hope that he's healthy and hope that he can be good.
This is just what I want to say about Matt Rule. If you haven't done any, looking into who he was in the college game, Matt Rule, for those of you that don't know, at one time he was a part of the coaching staff with the Giants, but he was like he was an assistant to a coordinator. So he was a part of the Giants. That's one of the reasons why the Giants wanted to bring him back so bad, as he had already had ties with the Giants. But I'll say this about Matt Rule. I did a little bit of research on him. On his college, he was at 2 universities where he coached. And in his second year of taking over that university, he basically doubled or tripled their win count tremendously. At Temple, his first year, again, these are guys that he had not gotten to recruit yet. They were 2-10. Year after that, they were 6-6. Temple then went 10-4 and 10-3. So he's shown that he can build that team. Then he goes to Baylor. First year he got there, he was 1-11. That's obviously an awful year, but his first year he was there, and that's coming after
the sanctions
scandals,
and
absolutely the sexual assault stuff that they were going on for the whole team. The next year he went 7-6, and then this past year, I know they lost in the bowl game to Georgia. Go Dogs! He went 11-3. So that has shown he can spot talent
Yeah.
But the difference between college and professional is you're not recruiting these players.
Yeah.
You don't just go out there and recruit some of the best players in the state of, Texas, in the state of Massachusetts, wherever he was in college ball. You got to draft them. Okay.
Yeah.
And you got to be able to sign them to free agency. And you got to be able to work with what you got.
At the same time.
And so we've seen so far in his first year there working with other people's, players. I know it's college, but he didn't have great success.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to sit here and say he won't be able to have success. And the 7 years kind of shows that, Tepper's like, look, I'm going to give you an opportunity.
Yeah. So, and see, that's the way I was going to think about it, too.
That's what I'm asking. Is this... Sorry. Do you have 1 to 2 years of trying Cam out?
See, that's why I was going to go with it. Yeah.
Or is it because if you do that, then he's wasting 1 to 2 years.
But just think, you got 5 years left.
Maybe. But what if they don't? What if they don't do well after 2 years?
Well, see,
And then the coach is like, and then Tepper's sitting there going, "Well, now we still got to start over. We didn't make the playoffs the last 2 years. We're still in our defense. Let's say our defense don't improve. You got to think about it. Kuechly's getting older.
Yeah.
So you've got to replace Kuechly. So at that point, when he keeps saying team building or team building and program building, I keep thinking old people out, new people in.
Yeah.
That's why you have 7 years, because Gruden came in the first year. You let all the veterans play out their contracts, see what you got, see who you want to keep on the cheap, and then everyone else is gone. Khalil, Mack, this guy, that guy. You just got Cooper. Yeah. Everybody's out. Because think about for the money wise for the Panthers. So what would be best? Keeping Cam, signing him to a new deal for $25 million a year. Or trade Cam for draft picks. You're already sitting in the 7 spot.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, the word's program builder. Now you've got more draft picks. Then you can draft his backup, or you don't even have to draft his backup. What if you let Kyle Allen play this year to see what you got?
I don't think that's a good idea.
Hold on. Then what's next year, though, Juan? Trevor Lawrence is out next year.
Yeah.
All those guys coming out next year. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't. He's got 7 years, so it isn't about this year. Kyle Allen, I can pull up the stats, had the same or better year than Cam Newton did his rookie year. Now everybody keeps saying Kyle's not the answer. He's a rookie, so Dwayne didn't have enough time. But we know Kyle Allen is. Kyle Allen has won just as many games as Cam has his rookie year, and in less games. So remember, the Panthers defense was ranked what this year?
Well, I don't know.
31st.
Really?
There's only 32 teams, Juan. When they do the math on that, that's next to last.
Yeah.
How many quarterbacks have a winning record with 31? So to give you an idea about Cam, in 8 years of quarterbacking, he only had 3 winning seasons. Okay? All 3 of those, the defense was ranked in the top 10. So Kyle Allen with the 31st ranked defense this year went 5-7. Cam Newton never had a winning record with a defense not in the top 10.
Yeah.
Now, so what I'm saying is, if you trade Cam, now you got two or three draft picks to add to your team in defense. One can replace Kuechly, one can replace whoever, add a wide receiver, whatever you need. Then not only do you have that, hey, guess what? Now you got $25 million you can spend on other players. So you got 2 to 3 more draft picks and $25 million. So you could say, hey, we're going to try Kyle Allen again with 6 new players plus Kyle Allen, or Cam and the Funky Bunch again.
Well, okay, all right. Let me go all the way back. So I think with 7 years, you can do both. I think you can try Cam out again, see if it don't work, and then you got 5 more years to start all over, And then on the other end, as far as, having, let's say you trade Cam and all of that, the Panthers ain't never really did a great job of bringing in like big name free agents.
Let's say Cam does play
they'll
good.
get some defensive linemen,
right?
But the Panthers don't like to spend a lot of money on free agents at all.
Let's say they bring him in, that he does good after 1 year. Do you think he's still got 6 more in him healthy?
I also
you got to remember, this is your job. This ain't about, like, let's say Juwan Wilson's the coach.
Well, let me say this first.
You can't, your feelings can't have nothing to do with Cam and the Panthers fans.
Okay.
Your feelings are my job. If I put Cam out there and we have 2 losing seasons in a row, guess who's getting fired?
Okay, well, let me say this. Do you know how much money the Panthers will make off number 1 jerseys if Cam has one good year?
They've already sold all the Cam Newton jerseys they'll ever sell.
I'm just saying, man.
Who else is buying a new Cam Newton?
I want to
jersey?
say again, thank you, Tyler. We see your comments on Facebook.
Who's buying the new Cam Newton?
Give Cam 1 year to prove it. Exactly.
Thank you, buddy.
I think he's deserved. Look, man, you don't just find players like Cam Newton all the time.
New coach. It's new coach.
Yeah, I understand that.
This isn't Ron Rivera. This isn't Rivera's decision.
Right.
If it's Rivera's decision, I say, well, maybe give him a chance. I don't know. But this is new coach. Does new coach in his first season and first chance in the NFL, does he want to tie it to the old GM, the old owner, the old quarterback who was 4 years ago a decent quarterback, not in the last 2 or 3?
You're not guaranteed to get a decent quarterback for the next 2 years anyway.
Right.
So you might as well.
You could draft one. You could sign one.
You could draft
Justin Herbert.
You could draft a quarterback, but I don't think he's going to come in and play better than Kyle Allen did.
Was that the expectation in the first year? No.
Well, I want you to
the ultimate
understand something.
expectation is where do you want to be in 4 years?
Now hold on. I want to say this though about you think drafting a quarterback won't come in and play better than Kyle Allen. Let's not forget Kyle Allen was an undrafted free agent. Okay,
I'm not knocking
they
him.
brought
I'm not
him in,
knocking
and you have the 7th pick in the NFL draft this year. So far, Tua is said to be at 6-7, and Justin Herbert is said to be at 6-7. Those 2 quarterbacks alone, I think if you have the opportunity to draft them, if you're done with Kyle Allen and you're definitely done with Cam Newton, I'd go for it.
Yeah, now
because then you keep him on a rookie contract. And the reason why I'm mentioning this as well, do you know whose contract's going to be coming up here in the next 2 years or so?
Who's that?
The guy that just won 11,000.
Right.
Christian McCaffrey.
So
he's going to need some money.
I just said, okay, and I just where's that
He's probably going
where's that 25 million a year?
Want more.
He's going to break the bank.
He's going to want more
So
than Zeke.
I just said 6 players.
Yeah.
Yes.
6 players is worth maybe Cam being as good as he once was 4 years ago. New coach, let's say if he does go with Cam and it doesn't work out, that means he started over for 1 or 2 years, and then he has to get another quarterback, start another again.
Well, like he said,
then you're like, so if you're a new guy, do you want to take the chance that you're going to have to take 2 chances on just 2 different quarterbacks?
Like he said, you take quarterback this year in the draft, sitting behind Cam. See what Cam's going to do.
He's only had
in 2 years.
He's only
then
had,
you can start all over with the guy that you drafted.
Best case scenario. Cam has only had 3 winning seasons in 8 years. So best case scenario, you get 1 winning season every 2 to 3 years.
He went to a Super Bowl and had an MVP season.
Rex Grossman went to a Super Bowl.
The Panthers have never had an MVP player before.
MVP is a voting thing. How do you win MVP, Juwan?
Yeah, you vote on it.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
we're going to get way off subject. Do you
Juwan
think that he deserved to be the MVP that year?
No.
You don't?
No.
I think he did.
Well, that's okay.
Some could argue.
Okay, exactly. Some people voted for him.
Right.
Some people didn't.
But the fact that I'm making is rarely do you get to have those type of talents on your team.
Brian Sipe won the 1980 MVP. You've never heard of him.
I've never heard of him, no.
A kicker won the MVP for the Washington Redskins.
Did Brian Sipe?
A kicker won the MVP for the Washington Redskins one time.
Sipe got any Super Bowls or been to one?
No. What does that got to do with anything?
Cam led the team to a Super Bowl. That's what I'm saying.
So did Rex Grossman.
Rex
Grossman didn't lead the team to the Super Bowl. Rex Grossman got on the plane and rode with the Bears to the
Brad
Super Bowl.
Johnson won
Well,
a
we
Super
can make the
Bowl.
same argument for Peyton Manning won a Super Bowl with the
Absolutely.
Broncos.
Von Miller won the Super Bowl.
Exactly. You're making the same exact thing that you're saying for Rex Grossman. And Rex Grossman's got more interceptions as touchdowns in his career.
Yeah.
But what I want to say as well, though, you know who else has won an MVP? Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's won an MVP.
Yeah.
So is Cam. I mean, what does the MVP really mean? Lamar Jackson's about to win the MVP
Well, I'm not
this year,
saying
but
more
it's-
about the MVP, just more. I get what you're saying about the MVP part. Just more of the fact that he led a team to the Super Bowl with him being a main cog that he got the team to
that
the Super
defense
Bowl.
led him to the Super Bowl. We can make the argument that defense led him to the Super Bowl. But this is what I want to say, though, as well, about this predicament that Carolina is in. So you want to give Cam Newton another year. Technically, his contract doesn't run out till next year anyways. That's
Right.
fine. You just got to bite the bullet and pay him the $25 million that he's going to be owed, $22 to $25 million that he's going to be owed. Go ahead. Bite the bullet. If he struggles then I would say, okay, draft a quarterback this year.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be in the first round. Jacob Eason's going to be a good quarterback coming out in this coming draft. I'm not going to say he's going to be special, but he could go in the second round.
Yeah.
Just draft a quarterback, because if you don't think it's Will Grier, that's okay. Move off of him. That's fine. Cut your losses. Pay him what you can.
Yeah.
He's still on a rookie deal. Kyle Allen's still on a rookie deal. If you don't like him, cut off of him.
Listen,
I've heard people say technically you should draft a quarterback whether it's 5th or 6th round every year. Just
I
to
like
see.
that. I like that. So smartest move, GM owner-wise, would be what I said do. Trade him.
Well, you'll get picks for him easily.
Yeah, you get picks for him.
Okay, think about this. Kyle Allen can win 5 out of 12 games.
Mm-hmm.
If he plays 16, they win 7. That's not a bad year. Okay? Now, so let's say he wins 7 games. You still got new draft picks, $25 million, all this stuff to build around him. Hey, and guess what? If he don't like Kyle Allen and he only wins 3 games, guess what? You got another high draft pick.
Yeah.
Then you can pick and trade up for Trevor Lawrence or whatever you want to.
Yeah.
There's so many options, and you're going to make your team better by adding 5 or 6 players than you are paying one guy the extra minute. Now, here's his MVP season, Juwan. Here's how many quarterbacks had more yards and completion percentage. This ain't how many.
But see, because I'm gonna tell you why. Because you're gonna give all these passing numbers,
right?
And you're not gonna give any numbers about Cam Newton's rushing yards or Cam Newton's rushing touchdowns.
I thought we were talking about a quarterback, not a running back.
Right.
It matter. We're talking about
how many
today's quarterback. Right. They run the ball,
and none of them have won a Super Bowl. But Russell Wilson.
They ain't. He runs the ball.
How many? Yeah, but he threw the ball in the Super Bowl. They win it. He didn't run. He wasn't leading the team.
If somebody else runs the ball, they win the Super Bowl.
He's run second, pass first.
Yeah, absolutely,
okay,
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so
but the fact that he's mobile is why he's as good as he is.
All right, congratulations, Cam. You can run a quarterback sneak. Let's pat him on the back
and score touchdowns doing it.
I have looked.
So can Tom Brady.
I've looked at the stats.
That's different, and y'all know it is.
No,
I've looked at the
1 yard.
I've looked at the stats.
Same everywhere.
Cam's average touchdown is about 3 yards a carry.
Yeah.
Michael Vick's was like 7.5. Only 15% of Cam's touchdowns have been more than 5 yards. Hold on. Let me finish. Only 15% of Cam's touchdowns have been more than 5 yards. Vick's 75% of his were 10 yards or more. So what I'm saying is, you know it and I know it. Do we need to look up Jonathan Stewart's carries?
Y'all make me sound like I'm a Cam defender.
No, what I'm saying,
I'm not.
We're not saying
what
that.
I'm trying to say is that, to me, it is not impressive to me getting 3-yard runs from a quarterback, because that's hard. Tebow would have done the same thing in that offense.
Do you know how many times those runs was on 3rd downs and he extended drives?
Do you? Don't ask me a question if you don't know that.
I know it's a lot. I don't have the numbers right here in front of me, but I know I watched the game.
That's what you think.
No, I watched the game, so I know.
Think. So who? Kirk Cousins, Matt Stafford, Alex Smith, Sam Bradford, Jay Cutler, Eli Manning, Ryan Tannehill, Derek Carr, Blake Bortles, and Jameis Winston. All had better passing seasons than Cam MVP. I didn't even name one.
Right.
Rivers, Breeze, Brady, Roethlisberger, all the actual good quarterbacks. I named all the crappy ones.
I mean, I understand all of that, but there's more to look. I'm not no Cam Newton defender.
The MVP of that team was Josh Norman.
Okay. Okay.
The MVP of that team was Josh Norman. The MVP of the first Panthers Super Bowl team was John Casey.
Yeah. See,
John Casey needs a statue.
Nah, John Casey, he was the man. Like, yeah, he.
So there, I mean, you know.
But let's tie this back around.
Yeah, please
to the coach.
Please get Kevin away from here.
Let me tell you something. We like to bash Cam Newton, and we don't really call it bashing. We just call it statistics.
I said stats.
Stats.
I didn't say anything bad about him.
These are
I just
stats.
named
You didn't say anything good.
Well, listen, that's your opinion. I tell Tom that all the time. Tom calls them selective stats or whatever, and I just say say the words
people
out
bring
loud.
up stats to prove their point.
I say the words out loud, and
but
people infer. And people,
the numbers don't lie.
And people infer what I say.
You can manipulate numbers.
So I can go on the internet and say, Yachty has 140 double season and Trout none. That's all you can type out. Mm-hmm. And you'll get 100 people saying, you think he's better than him. That's not what I said.
That
is not the words I
said the
said.
statistic.
I just made a stat.
That's what you imply.
No, it is not. See? That's what you think.
But right, that's what an opinion is. It can be thought about as that's what you're thinking. That's an assumption.
Okay. You assumed it, though. And when you assumed it, you make an ass out of you and me.
Yeah.
I'm the one that stated the fact. You're the one making the assumption. So if I say this, Juwan, you're going to say I'm making an assumption. I'm going to state a fact, okay? You ready for this? Jake Delhomme had a better winning percentage in Carolina than Cam Newton had.
That may be true. But does that mean that Jake Delhomme was a better quarterback than Cam Newton?
Both of them lost in the Super Bowl.
They did.
Okay. One of them had fat people who've never played football vote on him to be the MVP because they just got excited about watching this guy jump in the end zone. Now,
you don't go 15-1 without a decent quarterback.
Right. You had one good season.
You don't go 15-1 with a great defense.
Without a great defense, you mean?
I mean, even with a great defense, you still don't go 15-1. There's got to be more than just a great defense to go 15-1.
But you have to have a great defense to go 15-1. You can't go 15-1 with a bad defense. Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl.
He did.
Yeah. You can win a quarterback. You can win a Super Bowl with bad quarterbacks, right?
Yeah. Again, that's what Denver did.
Can't win a Super Bowl with a bad defense. It's impossible.
We'll see. We'll see what Kansas City does.
In 6 years,
Kansas City wins. That's not true anymore.
He's talking about Kansas City's got a top 10 defense.
Oh, they do.
They're seventh in the league in defense.
All right.
I was just saying, whoa. That's my Super Bowl pick.
That's mine too.
Don't poo-poo them.
That's mine too.
Kansas City
but we're not
6.
picking them to win the Super Bowl because of their defense.
Well, they are now.
We're picking
I
them
am now.
I am.
because of Patrick Mahomes and the weapons
Well, here's
they
the
have.
thing. You compliment. They had that same exact offense last year and ran into the Patriots.
And
Okay.
a lot of people still had them picked to win the Super Bowl.
I agree
Without
with
the
that.
defense.
I agree with that. But do you think they would have had a better shot last year against the Rams with that kind of offense? Because we saw that game. The Rams and Kansas City Chiefs had played earlier that season, and it was a shootout, 50-something to 40-something.
Yeah.
And that was how bad that Kansas City Chiefs defense was last year. If they would have played with the 7th best defense, like how the Patriots had a great defense last year, with that offense, it would have been. If they would have played the Rams like that, it would have been absolute killing by the Chiefs. Because the Rams wouldn't have been able to score.
Right.
As we saw in the Super Bowl when they played New England with that stout defense.
Yeah.
I mean, I just want you to think of it. It's like now, because as of right now, the Kansas City Chiefs have a defense not quite the same, but we can say kind of the equivalent of the Patriots last year. Just instead of the Patriots offense they had last year, they got the same exact offense that the Chiefs had last year.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, that team now is probably the most dangerous team in the playoffs, not named maybe Baltimore.
Yeah. I agree with
That's
that.
it.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
Because
part.
Baltimore is about
absolutely.
just like Kansas City.
Last thing on the Cam and the year they made the Super Bowl. All right, here's a good comparison, Jordan, on why I think defense is the main reason they made it to the Super Bowl. Cam, he won the MVP that season,
I'm not
right?
saying that. Go ahead. Just go ahead.
He won the MVP that season, right? Yes, he won the MVP.
Yes, he did.
Okay. In 2015, Cam won the MVP season with 3,837 yards. Let's flash back. 1999. Carolina Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
The quarterback is Steve Berline.
Steve Berline, yeah.
More yards, better completion percentage, more touchdowns, less interceptions, better passer rating. But the defense was ranked 26th, and they finished 8-8. Cam's defense was finished 6th, and they finished 15-1. The defense makes the difference.
If you don't have Cam Newton, and I don't want to keep going back and forth with you because this ain't Cam Newton. He's not my guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, trade him, keep him. I don't care. If you don't have Cam Newton on that 15-1 team, they don't go 15-1. They don't go to the Super Bowl.
Well, let me tell
All
you
right,
what.
hold on. I'm going to shoot that down because I'm prepared for all this. The first playoff,
I know you are.
the first playoff game they played that year,
Who was Seattle, right?
Nope.
Arizona.
Arizona, right.
On a
Okay.
third string quarterback.
No, that was the year before.
No.
The year they won the Super Bowl, they actually beat Carson Palmer. But it wasn't Cam Newton. The quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals threw 4 interceptions.
I remember that.
So that wasn't Cam Newton winning that ball.
You
game.
cannot. You can't take wins away from the man.
If you were
Kevin.
quarterback in that game, you just said if anyone else was quarterback, they wouldn't have made it. So that's taking wins away from the rest of the team.
No, it's,
you just took a win away from 21 other players.
No, Kevin, you listen.
What?
He is a dynamic,
Was for 1 year.
unique
Was for 1 year.
player.
Was for 1 year.
Is Matt Ryan a dynamic?
I'm only
elite
talking
player?
about I'm only talking about that year.
Is Matt Ryan a
I'm not talking about
dynamic
his other
elite player?
years. I'm not talking about last year. I'm talking about
What
MVP.
did I just say?
So look, you're saying
What did I just say before you said that?
Whatever.
What did I just say? What did I just say?
I mean, I've got.
I can't remember.
You say you can't go 15-1 without a great offense. I mean, which I can agree with that. But you can't have a bad defense either. Do you want to know a team that went 16-0, had top 5 offense and defense?
Patriots.
That's exactly right. 2007 Patriots, number 1 offense in the league, then number 4 defense in the league. So we can't poo-poo defense because
No,
so
I'm
what
not
if
trying
you
to
can
poo-poo
score?
it.
So what if you can score? Then you're just like the Chiefs last year, or how the Patriots used to be a few years ago. You just got to pray to God you outscore them,
Yeah.
and that you don't have a pick. And that you don't have a sack on a 4th down. You just got to pray that you can, outscore them. Where your defense can go out there and say, hey, man, you don't got to score touchdowns on every play.
Yeah.
We'll make the stop. So the defense plays a huge part of it. And, there's a saying for a reason. Defense wins championships.
Absolutely.
It does. Now, we've been on the Cam Newton, it seems like, hate train the whole time. But it's not really a hate train. We just are pulling out statistics.
I said facts.
But here's the
Juwan is
thing.
inferring.
But here's the thing, and that's fine.
State
That's fine. Some people,
yeah,
some people
you do.
love Cam Newton, and I won't take anything away from his character, even though I don't like the fact that he dresses like a woman half the time. But if you're Carolina right now, it's time for a culture change. You got a new head coach. You've got a new owner. You're about to have a new everything. You've got a new training staff.
Oh yeah, I know where I was going.
If you're Matt
I don't
Rule,
want nothing else
if
about
you're
Cam
Matt
Newton.
Rule, I think it's,
This is the NFC Championship game.
I think it's a good time to kind of shift off of it because we were talking
I
about
got
coaches.
one more.
All right, well, hold on, but if
he said he
to
wouldn't
me,
make the Super Bowl, and I said
if you're
Carson
Matt-
Palmer threw 4 picks.
if you're Matt
Andre,
Rule,
do the Panthers go to the Super Bowl without Cam Newton?
Oh, you tell me if Tom Brady was quarterback of that team, they wouldn't have made the Super Bowl. Just say that. That's all I need to know. Yes or no?
I mean, with that year's Tom Brady, yeah. This year's Tom Brady, no.
If Nick
But
Foles-
this year's Tom Brady
If
on that
Nick
team,
Foles was quarterback of that Panthers team, they not win that Super Bowl.
no, Nick Foles is tailor-made. Nick Foles only plays good with us.
Nick Foles has won more playoff games than Cam Newton has.
With us.
But it's still, Nick Foles has won more playoff games than Cam Newton.
I'm circling it back around. Matt Rule, first 2 years,
I appreciate that.
It's gonna be a struggle. I agree with Carolina. I think it was a decent hire for Carolina, but Matt Rule, your first 2 years, I'm gonna be honest with you. Do not expect, if you're Panthers fans, that you're gonna win the NFC South, even if Cam Newton takes over next year. Atlanta's got firepower that they started to figure it out later as the season goes. The Saints are still returning basically everybody, if not the best wide receiver in the league. And Tampa Bay is not awful.
They're not bad.
Even Coach Arians said, if we got a quarterback, we can win, and they got a pretty good quarterback right now. And Jameis just can't see past the middle linebacker. That's it. So the NFC South is loaded. You got a new head coach in there. It's not going to be easy. The first 2 years, don't expect much. Let him draft his guys, and we'll see. But to me, if you are the Carolina Panthers, you move off Cam while you can. I would much rather get something for him than get nothing for him when we don't re-sign him.
No, that I do agree with.
And besides, your offense is 80 to 90% Christian McCaffrey now anyways.
Yeah.
He's going to want his money maybe early like Zeke wanted. Because running backs, they don't have a long shelf life. And as much as Christian McCaffrey is used, he might want his money not next year, the year after.
Yeah, he might want to get it early.
So that's the coaching carousel in a nutshell, even though we went on to, what the Panthers need to do. For those of you that don't know, we've said it a couple times, we're located in the Carolinas. The Carolina Panthers, that's the home team. We got a lot of listeners while we're live right now, so they're Carolina fans. That's just, unfortunately, the predicament they're in, and teams really can't be in a predicament and expect to win, and that's you don't know what you're doing at quarterback.
Yeah.
And hopefully Matt Rule is able to come in there and do something with it. The only team so far still left in the NFL that has a coaching vacancy are the Cleveland Browns.
What you looking at?
The score was, I think it was 21-0 before Cam ever threw a pass.
That's why I said, look at this dude over
Anybody
here.
could have
Bringing up
I'm
more
just
stats
saying,
and trying to prove
I'm just
me
saying,
wrong.
let's say if I was the quarterback
Right.
and the other team threw 4 picks, I would have had a chance to win. And then the next game, if I was a quarterback and my team was winning 21-0 before I ever threw a pass, I'd have had a chance to win.
That's the Legion of Boom you're talking about right there.
But you said nobody could. I'm just saying somebody could have won that. Joe Montana wouldn't have lost those 2 games. Joe Montana. Joe Montana. You don't talk about Joe Montana.
So do we got anything else to cover on the NFL?
I mean, does Panther, or what do you expect them next year?
Dead
last?
What do I expect them to do next year?
6-10.
6-10? No. Not 6-10. I'll give them 4 wins. I'll give them 4 wins, and that's because I think they can at least win 1 game in their own division.
I think they can win
2.
3 or 4 off McCaffrey's back alone.
We don't know who the quarterback is. Don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know who the quarterback is. If the defense is as bad as it was last year.
We don't know who the Bucs quarterback is.
That's what I mean by I'll give them 2 wins. I'll give them 2 wins, 1 against the Bucs and 1 against Atlanta. I'll have them splitting.
Them and Atlanta split every year.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So you never know. You never know, except this year. Atlanta swept them. They beat them twice.
They did.
Yeah, so I'm just like, man, Carolina, I'm serious. Don't get upset. A lot of teams have growing pains. I'm not expecting Washington to go from last to best. You know, with me getting Coach Rivera, I mean, I do like the direction we're going. So, Panthers fans, I mean, don't get discouraged. But I promise you this, you're not going to be as good as you were this year, next year, unless you figure out what you're doing at the quarterback position. And what you do in this year's draft might sway me differently. Yeah. But until then, I don't know.
And don't forget.
I don't know. You cannot keep letting up 26, 27 points a game.
Yeah. And every year, McCaffrey's losing tread off those tires.
I hate to admit it. People, we can't forget. He was a Swiss Army knife at Stanford. Punt returner, kick returner, slot receiver, and running back. A lot of
usage, dog.
And running back. You can't keep running 80% swing passes to him and thinking that he's not going to knock on wood, but come up injured.
I will knock on wood for the man. I like McCaffrey.
I like him too.
This is what I'm going to say about him.
They got the best playmaker in that draft. I tweeted it, and I meant it. It was the best playmaker. I didn't say the best player, though. The best playmaker.
I like him, but I think they use him wrong. Like, I don't
agree with running him through between tackles.
No, not that. It's the players like that, okay, that for them, say for them to be, you don't want the other team focused on him.
Right.
Because he is the swing pass isn't designed to. This is when people want to talk about the Panthers when they start losing. When other teams started figuring out that's your. You see, most teams used
to your MO.
Most teams used to use the swing pass as this is the last resort. This is my check down, and the defenses are set up to do that. Watch the first few weeks last year when Cam and them did go 6-2. When McCaffrey's eating up a defense, what they're doing is coaches. They tend to allow them to do that. Mm-hmm. So they'll come in that game and they'll say, well, if they want to check down to McCaffrey all day, we'll let them. But the coaches don't realize it until about halftime that haven't played the Panthers before. Oh, that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
So then they bring up the defense and force them to throw it deep, and they can't do it.
That's exactly what happened. You know, Panthers fans remember it last year. The week before, Christian McCaffrey had 200-plus yards. And then the next game, they played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the Buccaneers said he is not getting 100 yards at all. And they lost.
Dallas used to do kind of the opposite of what a lot of teams do, and that's they would throw.
I was at that game, actually.
Yeah. They would throw to set the run up. Like, Dallas threw a lot on first down with Michael Irvin before, and then Emmett was getting the ball on second down no matter what. But what they would do is that they would throw there on first down. And I think that, you know, the Panthers, the other defenses, if you could make them concentrate on something else besides McCaffrey, I think he would be more dangerous getting less passes or less touches actually, but better touches instead of every single play.
Force feeding him.
Hey, we're going to throw the swing pass. He's going to run a slant.
Analytics technically show the past few years if you are a team and you're throwing on first and second down, you have more success moving the chains than if you go out there just line up, run the ball on first and second down. Because then you're not running the risk of being in a second and long and a third and long if you get a negative play. You'll just be, if you miss the pass, you're still where you were before, for second and 10 now. So analytics have shown if you can come out, throw the ball first and second down, just throw it early, you're really keeping the defense honest.
Yeah.
All right, so there's your Panthers. I guess we're going to finish up. We'll do the playoffs on Friday.
Yeah.
Give our predictions for this weekend. Maybe we'll do better than the Saturday Sports Talk guys that we did then. It was god-awful this past weekend how we did on the predictions, Juwan. Awful embarrassing. Should fire everyone. from the Saturday show, including myself.
Man, I'm just gonna say right now, I got to toot my own horn again.
Hey,
4-1 on my bets.
He was 2-6 on pick straight.
He's talking about the money. He's talking about the money.
At the end of the day, money is right. Money's all that matters. Money's all that matters.
He was 2-6 on the straight up picks.
2-6 straight up picks. 4-1 on anything I would have put money on.
I'm hanging my hat on that I was the only one to pick the Texans. So
we'll claim it. That's fine.
He was 1-4. That's what it was.
Yeah.
1-3.
But I'm unique.
Unique. Okay. All I know is my 50% of my Super Bowl pick is still alive. Same for all of us. We all had the Chiefs, so hey, as long as they continue to ride hot, that's all that matters.
All right, let's shift gears over to the NBA real quick. Charlotte Hornets.
Basketball.
Unless y'all had anything else on the Panthers.
No, we've beaten that dead horse.
I just wish they would make a quick decision on it.
Well, yeah.
Because the more they don't,
it's been dragged out for a whole season.
The more Panther fans, it aggravates them and it causes
really
an issue.
too. I mean, Cam ain't played for 2 years then there.
Yeah.
Right there.
I can't. Well, I don't know.
I hear.
Well, I don't hear him. I don't hear anything at all.
Oh, so you don't hear that? Like when I go off, you still don't.
I heard it go off.
I can hear myself. This box is acting kooky. So I don't know what y'all are hearing, and I'm hearing something.
I'm hearing you when you talk, but as soon as you click mic 2 to go off, I don't hear you.
Okay.
I don't hear anything.
Okay. Well, at least kind of know that.
Your meters aren't hitting at all. I don't hear anything.
All right, Hunter.
Yeah.
Guess not, but we'll see.
Yeah.
2 questions. Can the Celtics get the 1 seed over the Bucks? And or what if they end up in a first-round matchup
with Charlotte?
With the Charlotte Hornets. Now, here's what's bad about Charlotte, Juwan. So
I'm trying to look at the screen.
So for 9 years, you can move that if that mic's in your way, you can move it, or there's nobody hooked up to it today. You can kind of do whatever you need to.
So knock my food over. I'm yet to get
that's your food. That's mine. Yours is there.
Oh, sorry. Never mind. All right, I lied. Well,
whose food is this right here?
Kev, that's my.
It's your extra plate.
Well, I have nachos and a quesadilla. Extra plate.
Yeah.
Yes, it's my dessert. I have a quesadilla for dessert. Nice. Hornets last year and every other year end up finishing somewhere between 7 and 10 in the East. So this year they get rid of their all-star. I'm using quotation marks for Kemba Walker, Juwan.
You don't like Kemba?
See, you just inferred.
Anytime somebody uses air quotes,
all-star,
it should be assumed that it's a negative.
All right, the first year he made the all-star team.
You ready? If I say
you ready?
Kevin's a good broadcaster,
right?
He's all right.
Go ahead.
He's all right.
Listen, how many teams are there in the NBA?
32.
30.
I was thinking football.
Times 12. So there's 360 players in the NBA, right?
Okay.
Kemba is one of the best 300 players in the world.
Absolutely.
Okay. That's a compliment, ain't it?
Sure.
Yeah.
Look, to me, if you ask me, I'll be nice enough to say he's probably right now in the East the second or third best guard in the East, and I'm talking between point guard and shooting guard, second or third.
So who's the best guard in the East?
Best guard in the East,
what?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest.
All right, first off, back up. I'm gonna go back up real quick before we get into this nonsense. Kemba, the first year he made the All-Star team. You ready for this? Was the first year they stopped taking centers, and he was the 5th point guard taken. Not the first, second, or third. He didn't make it until they stopped taking centers, and they took 5 point guards. Now the East has changed since people have moved westwards and stuff like that. So let's do what Hunter just said. Let's count some of these guys.
And I'm going based off of who's playing right now.
Is Jimmy Butler a guard?
He's shooting guard.
Who?
Butler?
Him and
Butler.
Bradley Beal are both better than Kemba.
That's what I said. I said he could be second or third. So by default, he would be third if we go 1 and 2. I can agree with that. If we're going just straight guards, I would go maybe Butler, Beal, interchangeable at 1 and 2.
Is Oladipo playing?
No, he's hurt. And see, that's what I mean by playing, because even
Kyrie's hurt.
Kyrie's hurt.
Than Kemba.
Who?
Oladipo's not better than Kemba Walker.
He's not a better shooter.
At what?
Basketball.
Oladipo's a better slasher.
He's a better singer. He's a better singer.
He's a better slasher and a better defender than Kimba. But look, I'll say this. That's what I mean, though. I'm basing this off of who's playing right now.
Right.
Now, if you want to go out there on a limb and say, even though to me he should be a small forward, but everybody's going to the point forward now, Ben Simmons is a guard, technically. He plays the point guard position for Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Kyle Lowry is not better than Kemba Walker.
No.
So I'm not putting him in the top three.
Not at all. Not at all.
As of right now, Devontae Graham is not better than Kemba Walker. He might be.
Kyle Lowry wins playoff series every single year.
Yeah, DeMar DeRozan.
And
last year
a lot of them he
Leonard.
plays horrible.
But he wins. You just told me about Cam Newton. I showed you played horrible and he won. Now the point guard if he leads doesn't count.
What you
Kyle
just
Lowry
did
is the
was
Cam Newton
took
of
away
basketball.
credit from the other 10 to 12 players that Kyle Lowry plays with.
Now, if you want to get even more technical,
They win despite him.
if you want to get
You know how
even
many lottery tickets they had? Lottery tickets. You know how many lottery picks was on their team last year?
who?
The
Who you talking
the
They
Raptors.
played good in the playoffs
None.
last year.
They had no lottery picks.
They had none.
And he led the team to a championship.
No.
He didn't.
Kawhi Leonard led that team.
Thank
to the championship.
you, Hunter.
I will not sit. Kevin, I love you, buddy, but I'm
The
not
point
standing
guard
here
is
for
the
this.
leader of
Batman.
the team.
Thank
No,
God you're here.
Point guard is the leader
Is
of the
LeBron
team.
James the leader of the Lakers?
No, he's not the point guard.
Okay.
He is the point
Rajon
guard.
Rondo is the leader
No,
of the Los
LeBron
Angeles
James
Lakers.
is the starting point guard for the Los Angeles
He's not
Lakers.
playing point guard, is he?
Yeah.
He is.
He's guarding the other point guards. He's guarding
He's
Westbrook.
not guarding other point
Oh,
guards.
he's not playing point guard.
He's the
then.
starting point
He
guard.
is
If
the
you look up the
starting
lineup, we don't
He's
have
playing point guard
yeah.
this year.
Danny Green's a shooting guard.
Who's guarding the point guards? That's who the point guard is.
Danny Green don't bring the ball up the court.
Who's guarding the point guards? That's who the point guard is. Well, first of all, is LeBron guarding anybody?
Man,
But much
he's
less
playing-
the point guard.
I give you
LeBron's
that.
guarding
playing better
anybody.
this year.
Is he
Yeah.
guarding
But
anyone?
Look, I just was saying, based off guards, as of right now in the East, we know the East really is not strong anyways. So there's not. He could arguably be third if you want to throw one of his teammates on there, whether it's Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum. If they switch between the 3 and the 2, if they're at the 2, then I guess you could say he's fourth. But as of right now, just based on the guards that are in the East, with John Wall hurt, Kyrie Irving hurt, Victor Oladipo hurt.
I forgot about Wall.
If John Wall was playing now, he would be there.
If
I
everybody was
promise
healthy,
you.
Kimba would be on the All-Star team.
Do not agree that John Wall is better than Kemba Walker.
Okay, you're smoking crack.
Man, he can't shoot. And I love
What's
John
it
Wall.
matter?
I
What's
love
it matter
John Wall.
when John Wall can still go out there and get you easily 17 and 10? And
look,
play defense.
the only
man
reason-
can assist better than Kemba Walker.
The
He
only
rebounds
reason-
better. He just don't shoot threes.
The only reason.
and I hate the three happies.
Okay, in today's game where you have to shoot the three.
Well,
You have to shoot the you're
I
doing
mean,
that.
Kevin made a good point the other day on one of our shows. He was like, "Look, if Dwight Howard by himself has a
So at the Hornets, you know how they say,
Yeah, go ahead and
the big,
say it.
So the big men they say is a bad shot now, but Dwight Howard with the Hornets was and is still making a high enough percentage where it's still
It
just
added
as
up.
good as the
Yeah.
3-pointers.
Yeah.
And that's what I was trying to make a point to Hornets fans. You're like, well, the ball just sticks in there. I'm like, yes, because he's about to dunk on everybody's head, you dodos. Yeah, they would rather have Biombo catch at the top of the key, throw to somebody, and turn around and run back down the court and get out of the way.
That's what I'm saying. Well, what was the statistic though? It was like Dwight Howard would still
56%,
outscore a
yeah.
team that would shoot nothing but threes just due to pure percentage wise in the NBA.
It was like 112. It was
So,
close. It was 112 to 110 or 109 is how it added up.
Kyle Lowry's not a great 3-point shooter.
No.
And we're sitting here talking about how he's a top
let me
guard.
get this point right
Rajon
here, too.
Rondo can't even shoot
No, we're
threes.
not. No,
and
he
he
can't.
was winning
He can't.
championships.
But he had people that could shoot threes.
Pierce was iffy.
Let me give you this
KG
one.
could. Ray Allen was the only one that could.
I ask you a simple question.
All right, ask it.
Do you not think that Bradley Beal plays better without John Wall?
Oh, I'll admit it.
Yeah.
Because this is the reason why is because Wall can be ball hungry.
Ball hungry and you can't shoot. I don't think that's good.
We talked about it the other day.
If you
It's-
can't shoot, you need to be passing that rock, dog.
it's
That's
a-
just my personal
It's a
opinion.
point guard thing to where, like with Westbrook, and my
And I hate to do that because I love Wall.
And my
man.
problem with
My
Westbrook,
favorite player. I hate
Yeah.
him playing.
and my problem with Westbrook the whole time, same thing with Wall, is that, and what we're talking about, the big men will stop running the floor.
Mm-hmm.
The more the point guard takes the ball and takes it down by himself and doesn't pass first, as opposed to just taking it himself, pulling the pull up when Russell Westbrook, and Jordan, you know it as well as I know, the taking it to the rack is one thing. But if you're running with a guy and every time he gets the ball and he pulls up a jumper,
On a fast break.
break.
Big men hate that shit.
How many times are you going to just, as a guard, are you just saying, I ain't going to run the wing this time? Because if he's going to pull a jumper, he dang sure ain't looking for me to put, for a better play. And that's the ones that kill you is when that point guard. Okay, so
I don't know if
only 3 times in NBA history, Juwan, has a point guard led his team in scoring and won the championship.
Mm-hmm.
Magic did it once. Isaiah Thomas did it once. Steph Curry did it once.
Yeah.
This year's Hornets, we got rid of our point guard who was leading the team in scoring, thought we was doing a good job with that, might fix the team. No, the 2 leading scorers for the Hornets this year are both point guards.
Yeah.
Not one. We decided to double down on the stat that doesn't work.
Let's just split the shots up between
Not
them.
one of them is Magic, Isaiah, or Steph Curry.
But I need to remind people
Terry
right now,
Rozier
because not a
right
lot
here.
of people are going to give him credit. I don't think people realize how good John Wall really was. Because
No.
I'm going to say this. But I'm going to pull this out, though. John Wall, career average, because he's not playing right now, career average.
I lost it,
We lost
actually.
him.
Some good time y'all looking up stats on me, and I can't look none up.
No, I know, but I'm just going to say this. Career average, 19 points, 4.4 total rebounds, almost 10, 9.2 assists.
Yeah.
Kemba, 20 points per game, 3.8 total rebounds, so less rebounds, and he's only averaging 5.5 assists per game.
My biggest
Field goal percentage, Kemba's only 41, John Wall's 43. Now, I mean, 3-point percentage is 32 to 36 with Kemba, but I'm just saying, like, I mean,
My
now,
things
if
with
John
Kemba-
Wall was playing, he would be ahead of Kemba right now.
My things of Kemba, he's a great ball handler. He's never been, and never has been, and I don't know if he ever will be, a great distributor of the basketball.
He wasn't even that on the UConn.
Look at him right now. I think he's averaging this year actually less assists
He is on his career.
with better teammates.
He's averaging 5.2 to 5.5 on his career.
He's averaging less assists with better teammates and a better team now, and that's not good from a point guard. John, you get 3 assists a game at point guard in the NBA when the team's averaging 120 without trying, right? So doesn't that mean that he's probably getting about 2 by trying? I mean, honestly, Draymond averages almost 5 assists a game, I think. So should Kemba be getting the same number of assists as Draymond, the point guard?
I mean, who's he?
At some point, Kemba is really low on these things. Like, let me pull him up, just to give you kind of an idea.
But you know what? Let me say this too, because I think this is gonna go. I think this needs to be said too, just to get this out there. I think y'all 2 guys and me. I think y'all are more of an analytics type people, and I'm more of a eye test type guy. So we're
I can do the eye test too,
have
but
totally different opinions.
I mean, I can do the eye test too, but here's the thing. Sometimes your eyes can lie because stats are what's put on the
Right,
paper.
because Andre can think
what's
Draymond
happening.
Green's a good basketball player. And I
Exactly.
think he's hot garbage.
well, I mean, but Andre's not the only person that thinks that.
know.
I agree with you.
Now, stats don't show what kind of energy he brings, they don't show leadership.
Yeah.
I can agree with that completely.
That matters, Kevin.
Which
You
is
laughing at
fine.
that.
Which is fine. They always want you to be a good leader of men. But when it comes down to getting the job done, that's where statistics really don't lie.
Absolutely.
You think T-Bell worry about who the leader is? I'm just saying, there's some dudes in that locker room that don't give a fuck about that.
I agree with you on that.
Okay, it's gonna be so okay.
I mean, but you're gonna have those type of people on your team.
I used to
You need
laugh
them
at-
dudes too.
Hornets fans say that used to be that all the time because when they brought Dwight, I remember arguing about that. They were talking about team chemistry. And I'm like, well, as long as we're all friends, let's just keep losing together because we're all buddies.
Yeah,
let's all hug each
that's
other.
what's so funny too. As a Wizards fan, they were always talking about, well, which one are you gonna keep, Bradley Beal or Wall? Because
It's an easy decision.
Because they both want to be top dog and they clash heads. I'm like, well, here's the thing. Why can't we just keep both and keep winning 40 to 50 games a year?
All right, here you
I
go.
mean, I don't understand.
Yeah.
I mean, they play good together on the floor. Just I don't care if they don't get along off the court.
I don't
Kobe and
either.
Shaq didn't get along off the court.
No.
But they still won championships.
Yeah, but that's
On court chemistry is way more important than off court.
I can agree with that.
I'll say that.
I agree with that.
I mean,
Because it's like, look,
But
you don't
off
have
court chemistry can
Juwan,
lead to better on court chemistry.
Well, that's just Juwan, because
That's
we can
true.
say this. Right now, you can like me and Kevin, but when we leave, you don't got to like us as long as the show does
Right.
good. That's fine.
so all right. So here's Kemba Walker.
Yeah.
5.2 assists a game this year. Remember, he was at a better team. Mm-hmm. He's the point guard.
He's got more people to distribute to that can score on their own.
Kawhi Leonard averages 5.1. Should he be getting the same as maybe the best scorer, best all-around player in the NBA? Like Kawhi Leonard, everybody says Kawhi Leonard's a bad passer, and he gets the same as Kemba. Let's look at people who don't play point guard who have more than Kemba. Thomas Satoransky. He averages more assists than Kemba.
Giannis. His system may be set up for him to distribute the ball more.
For the shooting guard.
Just like Jokic.
You're right, Juwan. The backup shooting guard for Chicago should be averaging more assists than the starting point guard for the Boston Celtics.
Okay, well, look up who leads
Hold on. Giannis.
Denver in assists. I guarantee Jokic leads the team in assists. He's the center.
Giannis, Draymond Green. Jokic gets more assists than Kemba Walker.
They got Butler listed as a small forward. Okay, so Butler's not even a guard.
He's not a guard. I was going to say that earlier. But
now, in Chicago, he was the 2 guard.
Jimmy Butler's listed as a small forward. Bradley Beal gets more assists than Kemba. Drew Holiday, Devin Booker, who's balling right now, gets more assists than Kemba Walker. Fred VanVleet don't even start. He gets more assists than Kemba.
He plays a lot, though, Kevin.
I thought VanVleet did start right now. He's just hurt.
Is he starting now?
Yeah, he starts.
It's awful.
He's out right now.
Kyle Lowry and VanVleet in the same backcourt.
And look at who's sixth. Look who's sixth. The man that replaced Kemba.
Should James Harden be getting more assists?
Absolutely.
Than Kemba Walker.
He's got the ball in his hand,
but he shoots
90% of the time.
He shoots it 24 times a game.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And when he's not shooting it, he'll give it to somebody.
Look, Kemba shoots it 17 times a game. That means James Harden shoots it 7 more times a game and still gets more assists.
Well, you asked the question, though, before we went on the Kemba tear, and it was, can Boston take the 1 seed? And I'll just answer it. I don't know how y'all feel. I think they can take the 1 seed, mostly because I think they're deeper.
My favorite player in the NBA right now.
Kevin, go back to that one screen where they had the
Luka Doncic.
What are ranked right now?
You want
the teams?
Devontae Graham.
That's what I said. He's Kemba's replacement.
What do you mean?
He wants to see the standings.
Standings, yeah.
Because I mean, it was like, can Boston take the 1 seed from Milwaukee? And I'll say yes, because I think Boston's deeper. I think Milwaukee, as hard as they're going right now, they could, I think they could peter out. I think they could get tired. I know they're chasing that 1 seed, but man, they only got 5 losses this deep into the season already.
Is your computer not working now, Juwan?
Yeah, I just like looking at that big screen.
I don't blame you.
Give him a mouse, and then now we got a bigger screen. Nothing can make him happy.
What is that? 5 or 6 losses?
The Celtics and Heat are 5 behind.
Okay.
The Bucks. They've
the
only
Bucks
lost
got 7 more
total
wins than the Celtics, so I don't know.
I mean, I could see Boston catching them. Now, your question was, if Boston catches the 1 seed, could Charlotte sneak in, be the 8 seed, and have basically Kemba versus the Hornets matchup? I don't know if the Hornets will get to that 8 seed.
They're 3 games out of the 7 seed, actually. The Hornets.
I mean, it just depends on if everybody else just goes to crap.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, the Hornets are so bad, Juwan.
They're so bad, but almost in the playoffs.
Only 2 NBA teams in history have never made a conference final.
Clippers
and Hornets. Clippers have a better chance to make a conference final this year, don't you think, than the Hornets do?
Yeah.
The Hornets have never made a conference finals. They've only won 3 playoff series in team history. Glenn Rice won 1. LJ and them won 1. Kemba never won 1. They've only won 2 playoff series in history then.
Well, Kemba had Michael Jordan as a GM, too.
He's never been their GM.
Not GM, you know what I mean. Owner.
Yeah. Better than George Shinn, ain't he?
No.
They had Cho for a while.
What are you talking about?
Jordan.
Who did George Shinn sign? Jordan signed Dwight Howard, a Hall of Famer, and they couldn't get it done. They won the exact same number of games as he did the year before.
Really likes Dwight Howard.
I think Dwight's reemerged himself out in Los Angeles.
I think people hate him more.
No, he does good for us. He does exactly what we need him to on the Lakers.
He drained a 3 last night.
He did. He was the night before. He drained a 3.
I seen that.
It was his first or second 3 ever?
Listen, I thought for the past 3 or 4 years, I've been lobbying for the Warriors to sign Dwight Howard. Because it's having him instead of Bogut and whatever dodo they have down low actually playing defense and getting rebounds.
If DeMarcus Cousins wouldn't have got hurt, that team would have been disgusting.
And then now that everybody's messed up and let LeBron end up with Dwight Howard, and I think that was a mistake. The timing of the Durant
I wanted to speak
hurt.
on that too. So I'll just ask you two so we can put this down. Do you guys think Boston can get the 1 seed?
Yeah, I mean
it's possible.
I
I don't know if they'll have enough time. Well, I'm looking at it right now. Milwaukee's 32-6. Boston's 25-9. I don't know if Milwaukee's gonna lose that much, and if Boston's gonna go on a crazy hot streak.
You don't think Milwaukee's tiring themselves out right now?
Does all them teams not get what? Is the West not the whoever wins the West not going to be the heavy favorite?
But see, that's what I was about to ask. The Lakers right now are sitting at 1 in the West. The other night, they had 20 blocks in a game.
Block party, baby.
20 blocks. And I want to ask this: is that team? Because they always talk about how the Clippers' defense is going to be so good. They got Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, great wing defenders. They got Patrick Beverly heading in the front as soon as the point guard gets over the court. Are the Lakers not probably built to be the best defensive team in the league?
Absolutely.
They've got Anthony Davis, JaVale McGee, and Dwight Howard, all almost perfect 7-footers that have all been known to really be great shot blockers.
Yep.
LeBron James, if he wants to, I know he's selective with it, he can be great on defense. Rajon Rondo is an underrated defensive point guard. He always has been in his whole career, especially when he was winning championships in Boston. He was the one that was ripping the guards.
We got Avery Bradley. He usually guards the best scorer from the other team.
And I'll say this. I still think the Clippers could win it more than the Lakers. But the Lakers right now, do they have an argument of being easily the best defensive team in the league?
Absolutely. I think so. It's just hard to get a shot on us when you're trying to get to the rack.
Because I know everybody wants to shoot threes now, so not a lot of people drive to the lane.
Here's your opportunity, John.
That's a brick wall.
Y'all have an opportunity to win the championship this year.
Mm-hmm.
Next year it's over. Because Steph and Clay will shoot that team out of the gym. That's what they've been doing the past few years, and that's what they're designed to do. The team if I was you guys, the team I would worry about the most, honestly,
Houston,
is the Houston Rockets. And I don't even like them that much.
I hate their game.
I don't even like their game. But the reason I do like them is looking at y'all's roster. There ain't nobody on that roster that wants to chase Russ, Westbrook, and Harden all game, much less 2 guys. Then the thing that's going to beat y'all is what I was kind of mentioning with Houston, is what I fear that will beat y'all is a team that hits a lot of threes, because I don't think y'all can out 3 with the other team.
No, we can't.
You guys are playing old school regular basketball, a lot of 2s, a lot of dunks and stuff like that.
They're bringing back Showtime Lakers.
Yeah, but that's what it is. But that's what I meant by when the other teams do hit the threes. I think that's when y'all won't have a chance. But if y'all play the Bucks in the East, that ain't going to matter. So if the Lakers get out of the West, I think they win it. But just looking at the West, I'm worried if they can get out of the West, because maybe some team don't hit a bunch of threes this year and they can get out of it. But I would say next year when Steph and Clay and everybody's healthy, that would be my biggest fear for that. But this year it's open. I mean, it's not like anybody else is just – everybody's trying to shoot threes, but nobody would fear me enough except Houston getting hot enough to knock me out right now.
Yeah, but the thing with Houston is they always go cold in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I'm saying they could. They were just I wouldn't bet on
cold in the playoffs.
I wouldn't bet on Mike D'Antoni or James Harden or Russell Westbrook to win anything. Just remember, Westbrook, Harden, and Durant, only one of them's been back to a final since they split up.
Right.
The other 2 have not. And only one of them's won them since they split up. And those teams, the reason they probably lost that finals against LeBron was because Harden came in off the bench and shot.
They were just young,
and
man.
He missed every.
They were just young. They weren't ready to win that championship yet.
I never thought that Westbrook and Durant were a good match, because you can't have the point guard shooting more than Kevin Durant. No matter who the guard is, you just can't do that. Like would Jordan ever put up with someone else on the team taking more shots?
No.
Much less the guy who brings the ball up and you're down there doing V-cuts and trying to get open and post up. I just never thought that was going to work with those 2. I always thought Durant would have been. I always wanted them to trade Westbrook for someone like a Rondo package where he could just feed Durant. He comes off this side, feed him. Comes off that side, feed him. He cuts, feed him. Where he would be looking for him. So they're going to be interested next year. All right, look at this All-Star. Let's look at the All-Stars real quick. This is the first fan voting.
Right.
Taco Fall. Number 6.
Where? In the East?
He's six in the East.
Is he in the G League?
Man, no, he's on the team, but this is exactly why I'm tired of them letting fans vote.
If they vote him MVP, you just got to get it.
That's exactly why I'm tired of seeing them see fan votes, because look who's number 2 in fan voting in the guards in the East. Man ain't even playing. He's not even playing.
Yeah.
Who, Kyrie?
Kyrie Irving, not even
played
playing.
some.
Yeah, but he's done for the season. He's having season-ending surgery.
Is he?
Yes. He's going under the knife again.
I knew he was going to miss some games. I didn't know he was having season-ending surgery.
In the East, Kimba used to have to play against John Wall and Kyrie. Who else is in the East that was making the All-Stars above him? Lowry was making them above him. And now it's just Trey Young. Derrick Rose. That's his competition. Lee, Bradley Beal, Spencer Dinwiddie.
That's exactly why I'm like, man, as of right now, he might be the second or third best guard in the East.
Speaking of hot garbage, how about the East just being hot garbage altogether? Just look at that.
Ben Simmons as a guard.
That's terrible.
That's what
So
I'm saying.
Giannis is 1, Embiid 2, Siakam 3, Butler 4, Tatum 5, Taco Fall 6, Bam Adebayo 7th, Gordon Hayward 8th, Drummond 9, and Sabonis 10th in the
Sabonis
big men in
isn't
the
bad.
East, guards in the East. Young, Irving, Kimba, Derrick Rose, Zach LaVine, Simmons, Jaylen Brown, Lowry, Bradley Beal, and Spencer Dinwiddie.
Dinwiddie.
Is it Witty?
Yes, Dinwiddie.
It looks like an L.
I like
from
that
here.
guy, actually.
LeBron,
So he's real solid.
Anthony Davis, Kawhi, Paul George, 4 Los Angeles people take the forwards tops in the forwards. Karl Anthony Towns, Porzingis, Jokic, Carmelo is 8th, Brandon Ingram 9th, and Dwight Howard
You think Melo needs to be there?
10th in fan voting. Probably not. He's only played how many games?
He's played a few. He had a game
No,
winner.
he came shortly after the season started.
He had a game winner last night.
Last night, yeah. He's been extremely productive, actually.
Favorite player in the NBA right now, Luka Doncic.
He's fun.
I was in the locker room when what's the big name? Who's the big talk? Starts with a D. The Clippers.
DeAndre.
He's not there. Yeah,
He's
DeAndre
not
Jordan. Jordan called him Kareem Abdul-Doncic after he dropped a skyhook on the Hornets last year in the regular season game. And
Luka's got the most triple doubles.
Hey,
before the age of 22.
Juwan, that dude couldn't be any nicer.
Luka?
Yeah,
He's nice.
like as in person, he is.
He's always a nice guy, actually.
Dude, I can't say there is nothing negative between watching him play and meeting him and talking to him in person. I can't. There's nothing negative I could say about that kid at all. Like he's quiet, reserved. He thanks everyone. He's almost like he's from the South, to where he thanks everybody. Everything is thank you, but he's got that Latvian accent, so they're like thank you to everybody. And he's so nice and just everything. Everybody that asked him a question, like he smiled, even if it was kind of silly, he kind of played along with it. I just can't say enough for Luka, and he's way taller than everyone thinks. He is 6'6".
I thought he was 6'8".
He's not 6'8". He's 6'6".
He's like close to 6'7".
Oh, okay.
He is tall. Well, whatever it is, that's true. He's way taller than I thought. He's just smooth. He's just. I would vote for him every year on everything about. So looking out west, I would say they would keep Devin Booker sitting here at 9. I think that's
It's bullshit because you got Steph's
That's what I'm
number
saying.
4.
That's why to me, I would take the fan voting completely out of the All-Star game. I'd take the fan voting completely out.
Unless
There's no
the
reason
players and
Steph
the coaches
Curry.
vote.
That's exactly right. There's no reason that Steph Curry should be 3rd, and he's probably only played he played the first 4 or 5 games. He got injured.
He didn't play a lot.
He hasn't played a lot, and it's basically, I think his season's over with him, if I'm not mistaken. So I hate when you see that the players, they get all these votes, because I guarantee if they still could, fans be writing in Kobe. It's just fans.
Yeah.
It's just
I would.
fans. So I don't know, dude. I don't like fan voting at all. I wish they'd go the same route that the NFL has gone, where it's really kind of, it's like a draft almost.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that they have the players that were voted for by the, NBA fans, and then they draft them because it's not East versus West anymore. But man,
Do you like how they do that?
No,
You don't?
no, I don't like how they do it. I mean, it might make it more competitive because all the good players are out in the West, But if they're doing it like that, then they should be doing what everybody's been screaming for and only take the top 16 teams in the NBA and not do East versus West. Because all the best players are in the West. With the East, you're just watching maybe the top 2 teams go through, and they're hot garbage.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. The NBA, they're thinking about doing a lot of things to change. You know, they're talking about that mid-season tournament that they're wanting to do.
I'd like to see how that would work out.
They're talking about extending the NBA draft. Probably more than 2 rounds, which I'm not against. But, you know, for the most part, top 5 picks are really all that really matters. Yeah, you might catch gold every now and then. But other than that, at least the past few years in the draft, it's shown you that, hey, top 5 picks, and that's about it right now. So I don't know. The NBA, they've got a lot of stuff that they're doing. Rules-wise, changes to the season, thinking about doing changes to the postseason, which I can at least say, hey, at least they're thinking about it. At least they're being progressive and trying to make it a little bit better. But if they did do the top 16 seeds, think about it. There might only be 3 or 4 teams from the East that make it.
Postseason, what I would like to see done is cut 1 team from the postseason.
You mean make it only like 7 and 1 team gets a first round bye?
You can't have a postseason where teams have losing records. So cut it to 7. First team gets first round bye. If we've talked about, they've talked about cutting it to 6 anyway. Any other rule? I was thinking about rule changes for one of our segments the other day, and I was thinking about a baseball one, but I was just trying to think of anything in basketball. Ideas. Join on the 3-point line. You know how everybody's shooting threes. And I see what you guys think about it. You know how in the NBA the line is so long they have to cut it off and come down the sidelines.
Right.
What if they just completed the arc straight into the sidelines like it's supposed to be, so there is no corner 3?
Corner 3 shortest shot.
And so you just do the circle straight out of bounds at an angle, and then all the threes will have to be put near closer to half court, because then what you do is that if you stick that guy in the corner, he's not there shooting a 3 anymore, so your defense don't have to spread out to him.
Yeah,
so your defense can concentrate more on the other 3-point shooter, so you could put your zone defense or whatever you want towards the middle of the court,
right? As
opposed to the sidelines, to where that would change it where we're not kicking to the corner, because every team right now is putting 5 outside the 3-point line. Rick Carlisle was talking about the other day. It's 5 people standing outside the 3-point line. One guy drives and then you try to kick.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. And if you took that corner out, maybe that takes out that corner shot and that 3, and that does change it.
I don't know how you guys feel about it, but right now, I think basketball's in a bad state. I mean, I don't get excited to watch it anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody, like you said, is just shooting threes.
Yeah, everybody's shooting 3.
It's who can outshoot who from the 3-point line.
But it's about the star power right now.
Okay, he's talking about that. Well, I think it's the analytics thing, and the analytics thing has creeped into baseball.
Yeah.
To where
they're hitting for home runs.
Yeah.
There was a player the other day that they asked him, what is the one thing you would change about the game of baseball? His answer was, I would change the announcers, because all the announcers are older and don't understand the analytics and don't get excited about the analytics. So the baseball player that was asked what he would change about the game, nothing. It's the announcer's fault, Juwan.
Absolutely.
It is the announcer's fault, and he even mentioned the high strikeouts. He said people aren't excited about that. Duh! Like, what? And they don't get, and they do the analytics thing, and the analytics in the walks.
I hate
that
walks.
matters more than anything.
No.
Let me ask you this: if we're going to go, if we count on base percentage, and that's really important, right?
Right.
So, but in batting average, they say that's not as important anymore, which I don't understand how you can say one is and one isn't. But let's say the batting average. To do a batting average, you actually use the walks because you take off the at bats. So why don't we lean more then to real batting average?
Yeah.
To hits per at bats.
Yes, I agree.
Hits, I mean, not at bats, hits per plate appearances. Instead of hits for the at bats, because that doesn't include it. Because that's one thing, we use like 9,000 stats in baseball.
I hate
but that's one thing we never do is do that.
And see,
real quick before, so the Juwan, the formula for WAR, which is the stat everybody uses nowadays, is like this long.
Let me ask you this before you say that, because this is one thing I don't understand. I don't know everything about baseball. So walks aren't counted into your batting average?
So what it is, say you go to the plate 5 times.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you get walked twice, you only get counted for 3 plate
hits.
appearances.
Okay,
plate
gotcha.
appearances.
Gotcha.
So essentially,
No, if you got 5 plate appearances, you only get counted for 3 at bats. So walk doesn't count as an at bat.
So when they show your graphic right there, they'll say you're 1 for 3, not 1 for. If
5.
you only get 1 hit out of 5 at bats, but 2 of them are walks, they'll say you're 1 for 3, not 1 for 5 because you got walked twice.
Gotcha.
Right. So they don't want to count that against your batting average.
All right.
But all it does is kind of inflate your batting average. Because for Hunter, for example, if I have 5 plate appearances,
Right,
and I have 2 hits, okay, that's 400 plate appearance average, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then if I go 1 for 3 and a walk and go 1 for 4,
yeah,
my batting average is 333. But we got on base the same number of times, and so there's so many. And here's the thing.
Because think about it, you're looking at a 1 for 3 right now compared to, which is 33 compared to 25. You're 1 for 4 technically, but you got walks. So
Yeah.
So what I'm asking,
it's a big jump.
So
Yeah,
Juwan, there's this new stat called WAR now, is what they do, and it's called wins above replacement player.
Okay, I've heard
which is
about
supposed
it.
to mean if you put Juwan in, that you would have this many more wins. But the stat, first of all, it's like 3 pages long to read. So if I get a hit, do you know what that means? If I get a double, you know what that means?
What's that
If
mean?
I get a home run, I'm just saying.
Yeah, no,
you know what that means, right? But if I say, Juwan, I need more WAR today. Well, how do I get more WAR? Well, and what's funny, Hunter, when you click on it on MLB.com or the WAR explanation, it actually says in like the first paragraph, you can do this 3 or 4 different ways. None of them are the right way. It's all subjective. So then they'll use that stat though to say this guy's better than this guy.
So they came up with the WAR to rank the
to try to rank
best of all time and stuff, right?
So you ought to see this formula. It's about this wide. So it's like XY plus ZY plus this. That's the formula for it. It's just huge. And my thing is, Hunter, and I got a piece of paper in here.
I mean, you know my standpoint on it too.
If we go across that and say, I see what they're trying to do. They're trying to make a stat that says this guy's just good, or how to compare different errors or whatever. Instead of saying home runs, RBIs, doubles, batting average, this is what this guy did and this guy did. They don't do that. They want to put it all into one formula. But what if you just did this, and we did this last year? Just take the players by their ranks. Say, give me the 10 stats you want. I don't care what 10 stats are. Give me 10 stats. And then wherever they rank in baseball, add them up. And whoever has the lowest one, isn't that the best player? Isn't that a better way than whatever funky math they do with
and
this
see
WAR?
what's so crazy is if you think about the name too, wins above replacement. Well, I would hope he's got more wins above his replacement if he's a star player. Because the replacement's never going to play.
Yeah.
They say it all the time about Mike Trout. He's got great WAR, great WAR. Well, I would expect him to, because you're never going to sit here and say, I'm benching Mike Trout today for Joe Blow. I would hope he's got great WAR.
Yeah.
If you go based off what the name is, wins above replacement. If you're never replaced, then congratulations, you're going to have a great WAR.
Well, let me put it this way, Hunter. I did some math.
Yes.
So that's a fictitious thing, like an invisible player.
I'll even say this, one of the big, we always talk about guys that are on television. They're the ones that people are listening to. I like listening to Colin Cowherd, and Colin Cowherd has even been on record saying WAR, it's a made up stat.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a made up stat. Wins above replacement, blah, blah, it's an invisible guy. If I said, Hunter,
yes,
you missed 50 games this year.
Right.
What is your team's record with or without you? Is that not a more accurate stat?
Yes.
Than whatever we just made up?
Yes.
So with that said, here's Trout's records with and without him. Okay. With him, 200 and 210.
So 10 under 500.
So 49% is that.
Is the Angels' record.
With Mike, with him in the lineup. Without him, they're 38 and 44, 46%. So only 3% worse.
Almost same.
When he's not there.
Yeah.
Over a season, what is 3% of 162 games? That's 4 games. So with Trout, they average 79 wins per 162. Without him, they average 75.
Right.
But nobody's going to say.
And think this, still not playoff bound.
So
Right.
Either way,
But like you said, nobody's going to say, I don't want him.
Right.
You know?
right. So here's his. We talked about the MVP votes and how they can be subjective.
Right.
So here's an example with Trout. Here's his rankings, and remember, he won MVP. 5th, 121st, 55th, 17th, 49th, 4th, 51st, 16th, 2nd in walks, 72. Those were his offensive ranks, and that got an MVP.
The team didn't even make the playoffs.
Right.
Team did not make the playoffs,
Right.
and all those ranks I said. He didn't lead the league in anything. And got
Has
the
he been to
MVP.
the playoffs before?
Once. He's never won a playoff game in 9 years. 9 years, no playoff games.
And from what I hear, they say he's the best baseball player ever, right?
That's what they that was what they would like you to think.
Yeah.
And I get it. People that are probably listening are
Because
like,
they're
whoa,
using
whoa,
the
whoa.
war.
They're probably like, whoa. Wait a minute. This is a team sport. Look at his surrounding cast. I'm like, well, y'all just paid him $400 million.
Yes, they did.
So
I
Yes,
got
they
you
did.
on the,
I mean,
on
hey.
the pay thing.
Kids need to play baseball.
yeah,
For real.
I agree.
I hold on here. I got you on the pay thing somewhere
Right.
on here. I did the math on it the other day.
Right.
All ranks, players ranks. Let's see if this is the one. No, that's his best seasons. Dang, I did the payroll. Where did it go? Or did I save it in? Maybe I saved it in a tweet.
So
That's
y'all-
what I did. Hold on. So you know how you say a player, or someone doesn't have help. So that's what they'll use an example, is that he hasn't had help.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the playoff ranks, Hunter,
Yes.
since he's been in the league.
Right.
Payroll ranks.
Payroll.
And here is the rank of the World Series champion that year. 2011, they ranked 4th in payroll. The World Series champion was 11th.
Okay.
So did he have help?
Yeah. They paid it.
They paid for help.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Baseball doesn't have a salary cap, so you can pay for help.
Yeah.
Here's his ranks in his career. Payroll rank. Angels payroll rank. 4th, 7th, 6th, 7th, 11th, 6th, 9th.
So always, maybe almost
Top
always
10
top 10.
every year
Yeah.
but 1 year.
Yep.
The 1 year they were 11th, the champion that year was 18th in payroll. So they've outspent the champion 6 of his 9 years, and he's never won a single playoff game.
And they play series.
Not
Right.
Yeah. It's not a one game thing unless it's the wild
the wild
card.
card.
They
Yeah.
play series, is what Hunter said. So, and then like you said, people are going to infer, right? So people are going to infer that I'm saying he's bad. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm saying he's not the best ever. So let me give you some. I know you're new to my baseball stats. So here's you some Pujols versus Trout. Hunter, in Pujols' first 8 years, he played 40 more games than Trout.
Mm-hmm.
So in the next 40 games, for Trout to tie Albert Pujols in all his stats after 8 years, you ready for these stats?
Yeah.
40 games. He's got to do this in 40 games. He needs 170 hits to tie his batting average in 40 games. He's never had 200 in his career. He needs 170 in 40 games to tie Albert to get his batting average. He needs 197 hits in 40 games to tie how many hits he's got. You understand what I
Okay,
mean?
so let me ask you this question. So am I to assume that you like Pujols better than Trout?
I'm giving you a lot of reasons why Albert Pujols isn't even not only did he have a better start of his career than Trout, he had the greatest start in Major League history.
Okay.
Like, and I'm that's what I'm reading to you right here. And if you just follow along for a second, you're going to understand what
And
I
he
mean.
can admit it. He likes Pujols.
That's all I wanted him to say.
But like him, I think he's a traitor.
Oh, well, because he doesn't play for St.
Yeah.
Louis anymore.
Right. He
chased money.
He said St. Louis insulted him over $3 million a year. We offered him 30. He took 33 and said we insulted him.
He wanted his money.
Juwan, if anyone ever insulted you for $300 million, we offered him $300 million and said he was insulted.
Right.
Okay, so what do you do? So what I'm saying is almost indisputable that his first 8 to 10 years is better than everybody. So Juwan, just listen for a few minutes. Try not to interrupt. Just follow it on. So in 40 games, he needs 47 runs, 197 hits, 91 doubles in 40 games. He's never had 40 doubles in a season. I went and counted, Hunter.
Right.
48 St. Louis Cardinals have had 40 doubles in a season. Mike Trout's never had one. 40.
You know where I stand
Cardinals.
on Mike Trout. I think
So-
he's a good player, but I'll never admit that he's the best.
So and that's the only thing that I get at.
I'll sit
I
here
will never
and
say,
I'll say this. You know, Kevin brought up his favorite team, the St. Louis Cardinals, and brought that up. My favorite player is Chipper Jones. Okay, and I'm an Atlanta Braves fan, and I
Me
guarantee
too.
he'll have probably better seasons than Mike Trout has. And no one even speaks about Chipper Jones being a top 10 player of all time.
all right, Juwan. Trout has never, follow along, led the league in doubles. He's never had 40 in a season. He's never led the league in batting average. He's never hit 330. He's never led the league in hits. He's never had 200 in the season. He's never won a Gold Glove. He's never won a playoff game. He's never won a World Series. He's never hit a home run in the playoffs. He's never had a 330 RBI, 100 RBI season. Albert Pujols has done all of that.
Okay.
Now, the 330 homer, 100 RBI season, so 330, 100 RBI, and he's never done it, right? Pujols did that his first 10 years of his career. Now, you can tell me walks and WAR and that stat all you want.
Right.
But if I say you've never done something and this other guy has done it 10 times, doesn't at some point that weigh more than, hey, I had more walks than you? Now, how about strikeouts? This is how bad, and this is how it's changed, one, how bad the strikeouts were. Trout already has more strikeouts in his career than Pujols does.
He's played substantially
10
less
years,
years.
Right.
10 years less. Not already almost. It'll be next year when he passes him. Sorry. He's already got more than double than Pujols did in his years in St. Louis. So here's Trout's highs. The best of his career, 326. Albert Pujols averaged 332 his 10 years in St. Louis. So Trout's best season ever. Pujols averaged that for 10 years.
So why is it that they say so? You're saying because of the war and
No,
all
that's
the new analytics?
exactly
is
what
why-
they say.
Analytics.
Analytics.
So
they don't go off of what everybody's taken for years, which
Right.
is batting average, on base percentage,
hits,
home
doubles.
runs, RBIs, all that stuff. All of a sudden, we
Right.
just don't care about it.
So listen how many times Pujols done this. So 326, Pujols 8 times. Trout's career high in runs is 129. Pujols did it 3 times. 190 hits, Pujols did it 4 times. None of these are like just one time. These are like
Right,
multiple times.
right.
39 doubles. Pujols did it 8 times. He's done it once.
Pujols ain't very fast. either.
45.
Not at all.
That's what I try to point out to him. Like, guys,
Pujols is kind of fast.
okay, so 45 home runs, Pujols did it 5 times. 111 RBIs, Pujols did it 8 times. Trout has struck out 100 times 7 times in his career out of 9 years. Pujols in 19 years has never struck out 100 times. Now, Ozzie Smith and Yadier Molina both have 40 double seasons. So if you say somebody gets 40 doubles, you'll say, well, you got to hit the ball hard.
You gotta run
you gotta
fast.
Be
Gotta
pretty,
run fast,
gotta
yeah.
be pretty decently fast, right? Was Yachty fast?
Yachty's a catcher.
No.
Most of the
Does
catchers
Ozzie
can
Smith
hardly
hit the ball
run.
hard?
No,
So both of them managed to get 40.
I got you.
If you're a fast center fielder, shouldn't you be able to get 40 that hits
What
the
does
ball?
any of it got to do with the way they play the game nowadays? And
Walks and strikeouts.
Yeah.
So that's what I was saying about the plate appearances, Hunter. When you take the walks off, Trout's batting average drops. Significantly.
Oh yeah, no. If
'Cause you're adding those
you're
back
talking
into
about
the
if
plate
you add the
appearances.
walks back into
In the
plate
plate
appearances. I was gonna say, as
appearances,
of
yeah.
right now, since they don't add it, that's why he's up. That's
Yeah.
why he's up, because he leads the league in walks almost every year.
Right.
The man just looks at which to
So-
me, they're like, okay, that's good because it's not a strikeout. I'm like, well, why is it necessarily good to only get a single when you have an opportunity to try and get a home run, double, or a triple, or a single, regardless? But most of the time, they might just walk you because they know they can strike the next
the
guy
next
out.
guy, yeah.
Well,
So
that's
if
what
they-
that's
if
Would
they-
intentional walks be a part of the game if they're so valuable?
That's what I'm saying. They will intentionally walk you because they're like, look, we don't want you to have a chance to hit this ball. We know the next guy can.
Yeah.
So we're just going to walk you to get this second or third out right now, and we're golden.
Yeah.
You aren't hurting us. You're
whole-
not helping your team at all because you're standing there on first.
Yeah.
The whole intentional walk thing, I think, throws a lot of that out the door. Is that
Yeah.
a manager is willing to walk someone?
I agree.
Barry Bonds was walked with bases loaded.
All the time.
Why? Because
Yeah.
they didn't pitch to him. Well, think about this: the manager had the choice. Do I want him to swing the bat and go? He's got to think about it. If you use analytics, Bonds has a 2 in 3 chance of getting out right here.
Yeah.
But if I walk him, they score a run. Now, if you say wouldn't that how the manager think now? Ain't no way they would walk him, and they would let him hit it off the wall. Would you rather have the guy who takes 4 pitches and gets on base, or the guy who can knock him in after getting on base? Think about this. Would you rather have me or Josh Johnson on your team? And that's what I used to try to tell people. That's what I try to tell. That's what I try to tell people all the time. Like, me and Moose can get on base all day long, but if the guys behind us aren't doubling off the wall,
you're just standing there. You're just left on base.
Yep. I got you on that.
And the stolen bases, they're not getting as many as they used to now at all. I think Trout had 11 this year. He had 40-something his second year. But, I mean, Vince Coleman and Ozzie were stealing anywhere from 60 to 100 bases a year. If you get on and move over, think about Hunter. I did the math on it. You can have 4 walks per inning in a 9-inning ball game and not score a run.
I mean, it don't help.
So think about it. You can walk 3, ground ball double play.
There's 2 of them out.
Walk one more, and then get the third out.
Yep.
So you can walk 4 an inning. So that's 36. You got to go. So that's 30. Oh, get you some.
We're running on time anyways. So
that's 36.
We're almost at 2 hours.
Your team, Hunter, can have an on-base percentage over 100%. 36 out of 27. It's 125, I think, if I'm doing it right. And lose to my team, who hit a solo home run and everybody else struck out.
That's it.
So doesn't that show an example of how? I know people say that's an extreme example, but the thing about it is, it is absolutely true. Don't tell me that on-base percentage is so important, but then I can tell you my team can go 1-27 and beat you, and you have a 125%.
I'll sit here and say it for days. Call me a purist, but at the end of the day, if you ask me who I want, I'm tell you 3 stats I'm looking for: on-base percentage, batting average, and RBIs. Can the man get on base? Can he even make contact with the ball, or am I sending him up there for nothing? And can he bat me somebody in a clutch moment? That's exactly what I'm looking for. And maybe strikeouts, just to see, hey, man, are you just willy-nilly swinging at that? But then batting average will come into play when you look at that. So for people that say batting average doesn't matter, meet me outside. How about that? Meet me outside.
I think batting average clearly displays how good you are at swinging the bat.
I want you to think about, what is the point of the game? What is the point of baseball? To hit the ball. And to not let him hit the ball.
If walks are that more important, shouldn't all batters take 2 strikes then?
It don't matter.
I'm just asking questions. I don't know. If walks are that valuable, shouldn't all batters take 2 strikes and hope the pitcher gets to a point where they walk him that much? Here's my new rule of the day. I've always wanted to mention this while we got the baseball on. Is hit batsman.
When you hit him,
you get 2 bases.
Yeah. I'm fine with that.
If you hit a base runner, get 2 bases.
Because think about the way they use them now.
Well,
What in the world is going on? Why is a tree walking down the hallway?
He's moving it.
Did Calvin buy something, Andre? I got you. He said something about it the other day that's going to put something in that room. We got to put Steve in the corner is what we got to do.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You talk about intentionally hitting a batter, giving him 2 bases?
Like, say in baseball. A lot of times they'll hit the batter for revenge and this that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If not intentionally hitting the batter, I'll hit bats back.
Yeah. Give him 2 bases?
2 bases.
Yeah, it'll prevent them from trying to go inside on him, even if it's just barely.
What about another rule? Speed the game up. Okay.
3 balls.
This would be yes.
What'd you say?
3 balls.
Oh.
3 balls, and to me, what would speed it up even more is kind of like in the like when you're playing like church softball. They only let you have like 4 foul balls. That's it.
You can't throw.
That's it. Then you're considered out.
How many times does a pitcher waste a pitch or throw? You know what I mean?
Oh, all the time.
So if you throw 3 balls, you can't waste pitches. And it forces you to throw more strikes because you can't waste a ball or throw one wild or just mess around.
You can't risk it. It forces the pitcher to not try and pitch around the batter. It forces you to pitch to the batter because you can't afford to try and catch him on the inside of the plate or the outside of the plate and just pray that he's going to either swing on it or you're going to get lucky and the home plate umpire's like, yeah, man, I got him. I got him.
More strikes equals more runs.
Zone. Yeah. You got to play the strike zone.
I mean, it's just simple.
That's hand to hand.
Well,
so not 2 terrible ideas.
No, not 2 terrible ideas.
I like the 3 ball. I definitely like the 3 ball thing.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. 3-2. So what?
Yeah, I mean, 3 balls will definitely speed the game
exactly
up for
right.
sure.
On all levels.
Yeah.
I mean, kids, everything. I just
Because there's no, because I've said it for years. The main reason why baseball is going to struggle is because baseball is the one sport that legit does not go off of a clock. It is until you get 3 outs.
Mm-hmm.
You could have a team that bats through the lineup 4 times in an inning.
Yeah.
And guess what? It's still going
It's
to the
still
5th time
yeah.
that they go through. You know why? You could have 2 outs. If the team bats through the lineup, guess what? We're doing it all over again because you haven't got the 3rd out.
Yep.
There's no reason a game should run 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm just plain and simple. Baseball, you got some stuff to work on. We could sit here all day and talk about rule changes for baseball, but we've gone for quite a while.
Yeah.
So,
That's why I usually watch October baseball.
Yeah. That's the best time to watch
That's the best time, yeah. I'll catch a game,
I'll
you
admit
know.
it 100%. Someone was like, man, because they'll ask me, why are you watching October baseball and not early, like, first 4 or 5 games of the NBA season? I'm like, why? I don't care what they're doing the first 5 or 6 seasons. They don't try till after the All-Star break anyways.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But I'm watching 2 of the best teams left in Major League Baseball try and fight it out to see who's going to win the championship.
Yeah.
Ask me which one I'm watching. I'm watching the one where the stakes are on the line more, and if I bet, all I got to do is pick the winner.
Yep.
That's it.
That's cool right there.
That's it.
I'm just doing some fuzzy math over here.
You're just
for a
doing
minute.
some fuzzy math.
just for a minute. Just for an example.
You think we maybe need to start winding this up?
No, let's go for 7 more hours.
7 more hours.
Hunter's got to go to a Hornets game.
Yeah, I gotta go run around.
We got
and do
to in
some
just a
stuff.
second. I just wanted to pull up some
Go ahead.
my plate appearances.
I haven't
Albert
even
Pujols batting
eaten this
average.
food right. Yeah.
You
Oh,
haven't.
man.
So for an example, Hunter.
Go ahead.
So Pujols
Mm-hmm.
in St. Louis batted 328 in 11 years. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Trout's best ever was 326. So in 11 years, he averaged better
Yeah.
than Trout's career high. Now, I did the math on the plate appearances, batting averages, okay?
Yeah.
So Albert Pujols batted 326 in St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
That's with that's regular that's regular batting average.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I went and did the plate appearances.
Mm-hmm.
279 is his actual batting average. Real plate appearance batting
Real
average.
plate appearance is not
Real plate
taking off.
279 is still considered pretty good, right?
279.
Well, yeah.
I mean, 300 is good, right?
300 is really good.
Yeah.
If you can do it consistently.
Yeah.
Trout in his 8+ years, 305
Mm-hmm. Batting average. Normal.
batting average, regular batting average, with the plate appearances and walks included and everything.
Let me guess. 190.
It ain't that bad.
I was gonna say
250.
I was going to say 240.
250.
So he's
I poo-pooed him so bad.
so Trout with walks included in batting averages is 21 points worse than Pujols in batting average. If you do it by plate appearances, he's 28 points worse in batting average. And that's the thing is that you can include the walks and the hitting, I guess, in that. But my point is the best guy to swing the bat right-handed was Albert. Now then we can talk left-handed all we want, and then I'm gonna say I'm gonna throw Bonds in there.
I was just about to ask.
For lefty. No, people think Trout's better than Bonds.
Really?
Yes. So that's how far this
I
stuff
was
has
about to
gotten.
ask you. Well, I was going to
That's
ask.
my point. That's how
They
far
think
this
he's better
stuff's
than
gotten.
Bonds,
Yeah.
Sosa,
Everybody.
McGuire,
So
everybody.
let me ask you two guys. Who do y'all think is the best hitters of all time?
Best hitters of all time. If you ask me, probably one of the best right-handed hitters I've ever seen was Alex Rodriguez. Even though I don't care about the steroid things because you can say the same thing about Bonds, but the best right-handed hitter I've seen was Alex Rodriguez. And I don't have a lot of time with me. I'm only 23. A lot of
Right.
people know I'm young, but
Pujols.
Alex Rodriguez for me.
Pujols is a better hitter than. He was more consistent than A-Rod. I think A-Rod was more. There's more of a chance for A-Rod to go deep than Albert. Albert was a doubles hitter who got stronger, and those doubles turned into home runs.
I would say if you just want a guy getting on base, Pujols.
Yeah, A-Rod was a little bit more dynamic. All around hitters, right-handed hitters, the best I've seen are Pujols and Manny Ramirez. Lefties, it's Bonds
By a mile.
Now, if I want a home run, lefty is Griffey, righty McGuire. They had the 2 best home run swings I've ever seen. I can't describe to you guys a Mark McGwire home run compared to everyone else. Like, in St. Louis, he was hitting them in the upper deck in batting practice, which is it's almost like just straight up is how it was back then. When we went to Atlanta, I went with Pat and the Arthurs, and and Dad went down for a game when McGwire was playing, and so he's in batting practice. And in Atlanta, they don't have the 3 or 4 levels like St. Louis does. They only have the one bottom and then the next level. There's a little middle section out there.
You talking about Turner?
Yeah, out
the new one?
No,
Turner Field.
Turner.
Okay.
There was a little middle section.
Yeah.
They had a restaurant where McGriff's restaurant and stuff caught on fire.
Right.
And then right above it, though, was the upper deck in Atlanta. Sheffield, Chipper, Edmonds, Roland, all of them were hitting. Now, remember the new Atlanta ballpark?
The new one.
You couldn't hit it that far in the park. So all the home runs landed pretty much in the lower section of Turner Field. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up and kind of show you. I know the listeners won't be able to see, but I don't care. Surely they can show me an inside the stadium look of this Joker. All right, here we go, Juwan. Here's in the dark. I guess I'll pull this one up. Of course, we keep getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller pictures. There we go. All right, so this lower section all the way around the park right here. This is where all the home runs landed. Okay, we're standing here for home run derby, and I knew because I've been to McGwire in St. Louis. We're sitting there with our gloves, and we're like, y'all think we need this? I'm like, yeah, you do. So the first one he hit was a line drive in our direction. People didn't try to catch it. Everyone got out of the way.
Wow.
And when it hit, John, you know the plastic stands at the stadium. You know what happens when you hit those plastic? You know how they turn white?
Yeah.
He left a big white bend in the seat that it hit, and everyone went running for. So I'm sitting there, I look at Andy. Andy's like, yeah, I guess I put my glove on now. Yeah. He's like, we probably should back up too. I'm like, probably. So we ended up backing up somewhere up in here under these flags. Then the next 15 balls he hit is like this. And then we just looked over our heads and looked, and it just floated. So he would hit the ball, and it was like, you ever seen a golf ball hit where it'll float and it just drops? That his home runs look like golf balls. Like Bonds,
I didn't play golf either.
Like Bonds, Pujols, all these guys when they hit a home run, it's like shooting a rocket. It's out of here in a hurry. McGwire would hit it and it would float and float and float, and these balls are just landing in the upper deck, and you're just like, it is so effortless. What he did, he used this guy he had a different swing coach than everyone else. And it's where you release with one hand instead of two, and you know how the batters flip up now? He pretty much started doing that first, swinging up on it. So what he was doing was looping it like a left-hander here. Griffey's swing is that beautiful loop. So McGwire tried to reproduce that loop by dropping his elbow as a righty. It's so hard for a right-hand hitter, and then letting go one-handed. So it turned into the most perfect home run swing. Plus, he had, and like I was saying with Bonds, when you add 30 pounds of muscle, John, if you're hitting at 300 and you add 30 pounds of muscle, you get, let's say, 30 more feet, right? So if Bonds is hitting doubles and he adds 30 more feet, he's hitting 320
home runs,
350 feet home runs.
Okay.
Well, McGwire was already hitting 350-foot home runs. So when he starts pumping up and getting strong, now the ball is go look at. We got a poster in the hallway with all the distances.
Yeah.
500, 500, 500.
Okay.
So no matter what, if he would have hit them, they would have been out. They were just way out.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even. I can never compare it. I'll never do justice to watching that dude hit balls over our heads, where everyone else was hitting the ball. Like Jerry Sheffield, this is as far as he can hit it. McGwire hit it over his head.
Was a good hitter too.
Over his head by 50 feet.
Yeah.
Like it was just such a. And then to see him in the upper deck, when you're in the upper deck looking down, you've been on the upper deck in football, right?
Yeah.
Just think about a baseball coming up there and landing. You've seen the T-shirts at the Hornets game.
Right, I have. I caught one.
It's weird how that's how the baseballs look coming up there, and you see one get up, you're like, golly. He hit that ball so far. I know I went on a tangent on there, but I just seeing someone hit the ball that far was just something different. Saw Griffey hit in Cincinnati his second year. We went and saw him up in Cleveland. That swing is probably the best swing I've seen. But left-handed hitters, you got to give credit to Ichiro. Got to give credit to Tony Gwynn for the best left-handed non-powers hitters. The thing about Bonds, he was always considered one of the best players. But those 3 or 4 years where his head got 3 times bigger than it normally was, and he was on the roids.
Yeah.
I really hate that.
Those couple seasons were the I would say this: McGwire was more dangerous to hit a home run. You could not pitch to Bonds no matter what that one season. He hit everything.
Yeah.
Like if you threw it over the plate, McGwire might hit it out. He also might strike out. Bonds wasn't striking out. That was the difference between McGwire is more of a home run hitter nowadays, where you strike out a lot. Bonds wasn't striking out.
Right.
It was 2 totally different types of home runs. But yeah, Manny, I would say right-handed, and Albert. Albert's just 300 home runs is just silly for 10 straight years. All right. Any other news and notes on the Major League Baseball? We're trying to finish up the show and get out of here. Friday we're going to do NFL picks again this weekend. Remember, if you go by us, you're probably going to lose.
Yeah.
You can follow Hunter on. He thinks you can follow him on his money picks, but if Hunter, you keep making guarantees on those money picks.
I'm not making guarantees. All I know is last week 4-1. I would have bet. If you'd have bet it, you'd have been positive.
That's Hunter's. Let's see if I got any more fun tweets. I got one for you, Juwan. The last time the Bulls played the Mavericks without Dirk, starting lineup for the Chicago Bulls: Ron Harper, Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, Kukoc, and Rodman. Before last night, or 2 nights ago again, that was the last time the Mavericks played the Bulls without Dirk, and that's who starting lineup was. I got a Washington Wizards stat of the day, Hunter.
Go ahead.
I don't know if you saw this one or not.
I may have, may not.
In the last week, the Wizards have beaten the Miami Heat, the Denver Nuggets, and the Boston Celtics without Bradley Beal, Hachimura, Bryant, Burtons, Wagner, John Wall, and Ish Smith is getting MVP chance.
Ish Smith was balling.
He's getting
They've played
MVP
pretty good.
chance.
I seen
They've
him,
played
man.
pretty good. But if you ask me, I'm not going to say that lineup's better than with all those
Not
guys
at all.
gone. No.
Ish Smith, Georgia Tech.
This is just a good little. This is a good little stint.
I'm glad we didn't talk about Carolina basketball.
Not when we're not going to.
Thank you.
We are going to one day.
One day maybe, but as of right now, no.
But Travis wants to get in on that and talk golf with us. One day, talk some Tar Heels and golf. So we're going to get with him one day. Philip's going to join us one day. Got a couple different people join us around. Will Boykin's going to join us next Wednesday. Had a lot of stuff to do today. Couldn't get with us. Andre hung out down the hall. Didn't come hang out with us today. Got an empty picture in the corner. Answering the phones. Doing business. Doing work. So Friday we'll do our NFL picks. Hunter, you got anything?
Nope.
News and notes going forward?
I do not.
I'm trying to think. It seems like there was something else that I
I'm just
wanted to
gonna
mention
eat this
today.
food.
Hunter's ready to eat his lunch and
Yeah.
get out of here. All right, guys. I guess I don't think I had any more.
Andre
fun
said he
tweets.
buying me lunch.
He is.
Yeah, that's my boy.
Is Andre buying you lunch?
No, he's really
No,
not.
I didn't think so.
Yeah.
I didn't think so. Yeah, I didn't think so. All right. All right, folks. Hunter, real quick, they can watch on Facebook as long as Facebook don't kick us off every podcast.
Why they be kicking us off?
Well, they haven't yet, but
Why would
they have. I don't know. They listen. YouTube and Facebook has all these rules. Play music rule. If you play music, you can do different things. If you use different video, you got to. There's just so many different dumb stuff. If you cuss, things like that. I don't know. I don't know.
Did I cuss today?
Yeah, a little bit. We did a little bit.
I think I used one
But we
cuss
don't
word
care.
today.
It don't matter.
It wasn't a big
There's
one.
no FCC on this.
Nah,
There's
it
no
wasn't no big one.
fines. Just try not to get kicked out. But keep it kind of.
This is 2020. This is 2020. They hear way
so you
more
can watch. So you can watch
cuss
the
words than I say.
replay on Facebook.
Yeah.
We will post the replays also on our YouTube page. You can listen on 8
platforms.
different
That's what
platforms.
it says 8 platforms, but I know some of the ones that most people know of: Spotify and Apple Music. Apple Podcasts.
All right, folks. Thanks for listening to the podcast and watching online. We're going to take it out of here. and let's see if my buttons work. Let's see if they work. Y'all listening? Let's see. What?
Yeah.
You hear it?
Yeah, I hear it.
I don't hear it.
I hear it.
Are you hearing the song?
Rap
Rap man. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what? These lights.
First snap, I lay your back.
Juwan, we need a
quarterback scared. I see it inside.